good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be, wherever you're tuning in from, to this midweek. Do you know, there used to be a midweek sports special. See, this is why I hate showing my age, but sometimes I just got to tell you, man, there used to be a wicked program called Midweek Sports Special. And they used to be on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night random. It used to be like a roundup show of football and everything, mainly football. Midweek Sports Special, and it used to come on after 10 p.m. I don't know why I said that, but it is what it is. People, welcome to the stream. This is REDFELLAS, of course. We're going to be talking about Liverpool, that famous football team, doing big things. We're going to be talking about the Fulham game, the transfer chat, January's around the corner, contract rumors, title aspirations, what kind of mood we're in, who's our challengers. So many things to talk about. And I've got some brothers to talk with me. I've got Mohammed in the building. Yes, he is barred from making predictions. No more predictions from Mohammed. You're going to just answer the questions I ask you. And even if I accidentally ask you the prediction, you say no comment. But how you doing, my brother?
No, I've turned into a jigsaw for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, no more predictions from me, I promise. But yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm doing good, bro. You know, enjoying watching the Reds as always. Thanks, bro.
Good. Of course, I've got Cav. Cav, the more calm, the more calculated, the more rational Liverpool Red, as opposed to, I don't know what happened to Mohammed. When I headhunted Mohammed on Spaces, LFC Spaces, right? He was one of the most calm. God, what's happened? Is it turned your life around?
It's that Madrid week. I'm telling you now. That Madrid Man City week turned him.
It's not even that, because I've seen more dominant weeks by LFC. In my whole entire life, I've always been a pessimistic fan. I don't know what came across me those. I don't know what happened to me, because if you ask any of my friends, they always say I'm a pessimistic Liverpool fan. I'm always fearing the worst. But I don't know what happened to me that. I think it was just the high of the Real Madrid game and the City game, and especially the City game. And just going into that Newcastle game, I was just thinking, yeah, we're going to tear these guys over. But that's football.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. None of your business is in the building. You said smash the likes. It's true, man. We're trying to get my channel back up, the algorithm levels and stakes. So it helps. Likes help. So yeah, man, big up people in the chat already. Over 110 of you. Let's get the likes going so we can spread it. David says, evening all. Memphis Gore. I like that name, boy. He says, hi. Adam says, Salam Grizz. Hopefully the Salah news makes us go on a good run again. We will be talking about Mohamed Salah. Big up the panel, he says as well. At the same time, Cav, what's happening? How you doing? Everything all right? Settled in? How's house moving and that? House building?
Yeah, it's going. We're in the thick of it now. It's going all right. We're sort of slowing down towards Christmas a little bit now. So the new year, we'll start to get some more bits done. It'll slowly get there. But going well. Nothing dramatic happened in this far. Easing down workload wise towards Christmas. So I'm if you're saying I'm usually chill, I'm going to be even more chill this week because things are winding down.
And you know that meme. You're the original chill. As far as I know, you're the original chill guy that I know. Apart from that meme, you know, you are. But you know what I mean? Let's see how it goes. I'm trying to work out now. It's not your debut on my channel. The next man, like Drifty, because otherwise we need to have words. Yeah, if we're both,
no, it's not.
It can't be. But people, if you don't know, you know what I mean. I don't know where you've been. Like Mr. Drifty is in the building. Talk to me, bro. What's happening?
Good to be here, man. Always appreciate the invite. Let's talk Liverpool. I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. You know what I mean? I've been told I'm allowed to be positive. So
is that a thing these days? Is that a thing these days?
A lot of toxicity in our fan base. I don't know what's happening, bro.
Where did that come from? Right at this stage.
I don't know, brother. PTSD.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's something. You know. But
I think it's the PTSD.
We've been putting fingers at the Arsenal fans for a very long time, and we're slowly turning into them. We need to be very careful, guys. We need some self-awareness. It's starting to get very toxic in our fan base for no reason. So yeah.
Interesting. We may talk about that. We may touch upon that. We may get some of those characters' personalities in the chat. So feel free to fire away, Drift, if you feel it. Say it, bro. That's what I'm saying. D60 says, yes, people. Let's get another show. Mr. Consistent is back. I don't know about that. It's like I have good weeks, I have bad weeks, but I'm trying. Big up all. Smash the like, subscribe. 40K by the end of the year. Yeah, it's a tough ask. How much am I on? 36 sign, but you never know, man. Let's go. Mohammed, start off with Fulham, man. I guess we got to start from like chronological order.
Yeah. So much
Fulham,
happened.
huh?
There was just so much happened. So
So much has happened, and obviously I haven't done a show since. So much has happened, but where you at now? I don't know. Did you go to that game? Did you go to the
No.
Fulham game? So I didn't go either, but I must admit, at full time, my head was on Mars. Like I was really vexed. I was like, yeah, I was really angry. I was very frustrated. What's the word? Yeah, frustrated and angry. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Where was your anger directed towards?
The referee.
Okay.
Life equals Liverpool. Liverpool equals life.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that thing. But then, because I didn't look at the Arsenal score or nothing, I was just focusing on my game. Like I was sitting there, like with big eyeballs staring at it. Like we need to find a winner here. But then I simmered down, and I'm absolutely proud of the boys afterwards. When I look back, when I watched the game without the tension and the pressure, took off my war hat. You know what I mean? I just sat down and watched like a normal fan. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah, that team in red battered that team in white. That team in white had 12 men, right? And we had 10. And I thought, yo, that
14.
team with 10, you're all right, 14 then, yeah. 10 battered the shit out of them. But that's me. How did you feel? And be honest. It's good to be honest.
Literally, as soon as that full-time whistle went, I felt so happy. Honestly, I can't even lie to you. I was just so proud of those lads on that pitch and the effort that they put in. I was absolutely over the moon with Slots and his tactics and how much of a genius he is with like how he managed to navigate through that game from like the 17th minute, 10 man, 1-0 down. We've seen recently with one of our rival teams what happens when they just say, oh, you can't win a game when you're 10 man down. Do you know what I mean? But with us, we were the better team. We were a much better team with 10 man than we were with 11 man. That game was just, for me, it's weird because when you drop a point at home, usually it's like, oh, that's a terrible, it feels like a loss. For me, for some reason, I felt like that was kind of a win. I left watching that game like really optimistic and looking at that team and thinking they can be proud of themselves. This can be something that they can really look back on. And the camaraderie that they had within each other, the trust that they had within each other throughout that whole game, the energy, the desire, the passion. Every single thing that they did in that game was just insane, to the point where Fulham players were coming out saying, we thought we didn't know that they were 10 man. We thought they had more players than us. Like, that's just a huge credit to the team. I was just so proud of the lads. Honestly, I know we dropped points, but the performance itself was just insane. From every single play, there were so many good performances across the pitch. And literally every single one of them deserves a pat on the back. They were just fantastic. So yeah, I was very, very, very proud. But like in terms of in match, my emotions were going up and down, up and down, up and down. When Robertson got sent off, I was fuming. My head was on Mars. Like literally, I was just like, as you said, I was like, I couldn't contain my anger. Like I was thinking, well, that is just so ridiculous. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get back and touch on those points. But yeah, that's how I felt straight after the game, to be fair.
Cav, same question, I guess. Was your head on Mars as well, or is there another planet in your vocabulary? Like it seems like everyone's head goes on Mars, man. I don't know why Mars straight away. Like my head goes on Mars because I used to like Mars. You know what I mean? I got Mars on my head. You know what I mean? In my head. You know what I mean? But where was you?
No, I echo everything Mo says. I was just immensely proud of the performance. You mentioned it a little bit there, Mo, about Slot's reaction almost instantly to going down to 10 men, and the switches in player positions and the formations back three, pushing up high, pressing from the front, leaving vacate in the midfield. And he was just changing and changing. And I was like, oh my God, Liverpool probably not going to go on to win this game from here. But actually, I'm seeing some things that are really exciting me. I'm seeing that we have a manager that is so tuned in to what we're capable of and is able to tactically tweak in game so quickly that I think that is scary for rivals if we're capable of that with the talent we currently have. So I was really impressed by that. And then as the game goes on, you see the work rate, the effort and stuff. And I actually thought, you know what, we've been talking, not to pick out a specific player, because credit should go to all of the players for the effort they put in, bar one, and we'll get into the goals conceded, right? But actually, for a while, we've been talking about Szoboszlai in particular and his output, and then some people credit his work rate, some people don't really put any credit towards that, and then want more output from him and stuff. But he just worked his socks off, and that kind of tells you not every game of football is the same. Not every game of football is going to pan out the same. And some people's abilities aren't always going to be showcased in normal games. But you get these circumstances that do happen in a season that people can come to the forefront. And he was just a player that I was like, do you know what? If we're going to try to take positives from today's game, I can look at a player like him and think, what would we have done without somebody that had the willingness to work so hard for that shirt on that given day? And I thought, you know what? Fair play. Today's game's not gone the way we wanted. It is 2 points dropped, but given the circumstances, there's some real positives to take away from it. And his performance in particular, I was like, do you know what? Fair. You didn't score, you didn't get an assist, but suddenly your work rate that we've all been sort of tediously latching onto for the past few weeks,
like it's a given, like it's a given for every player. Like every player gives 200% every single game. They just simply don't. We see on our screens for various clubs. Club fans talk about, oh man, blah 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 blah, and we take it as a given. But it's not in the modern game. It's not a given.
These are the things that I don't want to miss, because if we go on to win a league title right this year, which I think we will, I predict us to, every point will count. But we gained a point on Fulham because of the work rate and the desire from them players. So in the coming weeks, when we talk about Szoboszlai again, which I'm sure we will, and we talk about output, let's not forget to credit these players for these games and these situations where they actually stepped up and came to the forefront. So another positive out of that game. And look, with the way the season's going, with the way the other results are going, I don't think you're going to need 90 plus points to win this league. So you kind of tell yourself that, you calm down at the fact you dropped 2 points, and you focus on the next game and you go again. So disappointing to draw, of course. Mistakes happen. Red cards can happen. They can happen to the best players. But it's how you react. And Liverpool's shown that they're made of something proper this season with that team.
Gandahar says Szoboszlai's peak is yet to come, only 24 years old. You know, people forget that. He is actually still very young. Our midfield, our new crop of midfielders, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch, you know, they're all around 23, 24. I'm just saying, I'm just saying they're not peak, they're not even close to full peakness and maturity yet. But Drift, mood swings, of course, there must have been mood swings during the game. I'm sure if people ain't watched your watch along, they need to get onto your watch alongs. There must have been mood swings, there must have been variety of emotions, but we've done a show. We're speaking after what, 3 days, 4 days? How you feel after everything else that's happened in the weekend? They're sending, where you at now? Where's your head now?
I'm probably more annoyed now than I was at the time, even though I was kind of livid at the time, because the decisions and the things that are around it are now really annoying me. I know people are going to be like, oh, my days, how can you say that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to talk about the refs. I'm going to talk about the fact that at the time it felt like I was right. And then, is it Dermot Gallagher or whichever ref it is, came out and confirmed what I thought. Because I'm going based off the rules, people. I'm not going off of feelings. I'm not going off of emotions. That happens when you're angry during the game. Afterwards, you become logical. And you sit back and you assess the situation outside of the emotion of the 90 minutes. And I just want to know why we continue to have the rules changed in our face, the wording changed, whatever the interpretation of the rules are, the rules changed. Remember when we got the kung fu kick in the chest from Doku on McAllister? We were told, no, he got the ball. He's got the ball. We heard it. We heard the audio. He's touched the ball first of all. No, he didn't. And then second of all, where was that rule when, for example, Curtis Jones got the ball first, but then followed through against Basuma in the Tottenham game? Or where was those rules when Jota didn't even touch the Tottenham player and got the second yellow card that had him sent off in that game? So I'm confused, because do you know what we were told? We were told that Joe Gomez ran into Tete. That's what we were told. We were told he ran into Tete. We were told Tete went for the block. It's an accidental collision. Shut the fuck up. Accidental collision. He sticks his leg out to block the ball, yes, but literally does a waist-high clothesline on Gomez completely wipes him out. And how is that any different from when a player has control of the ball, they're about to clear it, and a forward just deliberately throws their foot in the way with no control whatsoever, and you kick their foot by accident trying to clear the ball? Penalty. You've touched them in the box. Penalty. Handballs all over the place. Look at the West Ham game yesterday. Handball, the Bournemouth West Ham game. That handball was given. That's the most accidental handball, but you know, his hands are in the air, so you got to give it rare, all this stuff. And then Joe Gomez just gets railed down by Tete. Nothing. Gravenberch gets his entire Achilles raked out.
Oh, that could have been so messy.
But that could have been season ending for Gravenberch, that tackle. The tackle's so bad when you watch the replay, Grizz. The ball ain't even in the picture. The ball isn't even in the shot when you see like a still of the. But
you know, when people say you shouldn't judge the player for the tackle, I think it's very, very difficult. And from what I know, I don't know what you lot know about Pereira. He's got that streak in him. He's known to be that player that does shit like that. So
I don't
know,
even
that wasn't unintentional or anything.
I mean, bro, that's like saying you've got 3 children and one of them's always well behaved and the other 2 are naughty. But then when the one time that well behaved one is naughty, you just go, you're not usually naughty. I'll let it go. No, you still got to be disciplined because you were naughty. Like, I don't care whether he is or he isn't a fouling type of player. He just committed a crime against football with that tackle. And then 3 minutes later, he gets the first opening goal. So it's like it compounds the situation even more. And then the Robertson one, guys, we're talking about letters of the law. It wasn't a goal scoring opportunity because he wasn't going to get on the end of the ball. Alisson and Virgil were both going to reach it first. So straight away, it's not an actual clear goal scoring opportunity. But then the worst part for me, the absolute worst part for me, is the fact that the referee plays the advantage until he realized that Jimenez didn't take advantage of the advantage. Jimenez tried to do some little cheeky, sexy chip, whatever, instead of just putting his foot through it and having a shot. Van Dijk clears the ball. It goes out for a throw-in. That's a throw-in. Yellow card to Robertson because it was a foul. Boom, you just keep the game going. How is he given enough of an advantage for Jimenez to almost score and then still punishes us by bringing it back and giving a red card to Robertson?
If the tables were 10 and that was against us, we would all be screaming for a red card. I don't know why. I can't see that.
You say that, but if someone explained the letter of the law to me, bro,
I know, let them explain the
I would sit down and have to accept it, bro.
Let them explain the letter of the law, but when I'm watching the match with my eyes, I'm saying that's a red card, and that's how I felt with the Robertson challenge.
No, I felt but the thing is, I agree with Drifty. I'll tell you why, man. I'll tell you why. Let
me just explain. With this letter of the law nonsense, you just explained it perfectly before with the handball in the Bournemouth West Ham game yesterday. It's just nonsense. They will come up with their own rules at certain times. When it's clear and obvious, then okay, it's understandable. But for me, I felt like that one was clear and obvious, to be fair. And you can't...
At the time, I did. But this is my point. At the time, I did think it was obvious. But looking back, and the way Gary Lineker explained it as well, who's not a referee, who doesn't give a shit about letter of the law, he's a player who's played the game at every single level. And if the way he explained it, I see it now how it wasn't clear and obvious. And especially if VAR is there to look at those kind of situations and see if that's a clear and obvious red. I don't think it's a clear and obvious red.
That, but the thing is, you're just Grizz, you're saying that you've only realized that now. We're on.
Yeah. No, I was screaming. No, not screaming. I wasn't screaming red.
The referee in that position, if any of us are a referee in that position.
I was saying red card. I would have said red card. Yeah.
No, but do you know what? I'm not even accepting that because you're supposed to know the rules. You're the ref. It's not for us fans to be at home and have to figure it out later. You're the ref. If you're in charge, then you should know. And do you want to know what's worse? That was his first game in the Premier League. Don't you ever
this is what I was going to come to.
By giving an amateur a Liverpool game. Don't you ever disrespect us. How are you going to give an amateur a game?
Do you know what? Do you know what my theory was, guys, in game? I said it at the start, sorry. I beg your pardon. I said at the start. I said, I hate having refs who are unknown in games. And the reason why is no one knows them. And how do you get notorious? How do you get known? By making a name for yourself in every circle, in every line of business. The only way you get known is by making a name for yourself. You don't make a name for yourself. You just handle your business quietly, efficiently, speak when you're spoken to, not seen, not heard, referee a game, go home, collect your paycheck, whatever it was. No. if you make a name for yourself. And that referee was out to make a name for himself. That opening 20 minutes of refereeing told me that he's out here to make a name for himself. But Roms, what are you saying? I know you've been trying to come into the conversation, but mans are passionate. We started off all slow and we're good, calm, we're cool, and until it got to the man Drifty, because I knew it's going to kick off as soon as it gets to Drifty. And he's kicked it off. But Roms, what are you saying?
I do not know what I've said, Roms.
No,
Virgil actually said in his post-match, he spoke to Fulham players even, and they were all like, who is this idiot? Even the Fulham players were like, who is this idiot? Virgil said the ref said he can't
none of
talk
the players on the pitch.
but the captain is the one who's meant to talk to him. So how can he tell Virgil you can't talk to me? Virgil's like, no, I'm the captain. I'm the one who's meant to be allowed to talk to you. And he said, no, you can't. Bro, everything about it. The PG, look, I don't even, they don't know MOL, yeah. We're not even.
You know what, Judge? I used to get mad like yourself, but when you just understand that the refs across the board are all incompetent, I kind of go into games just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the performance and leave it out of their hands. But where I get your frustration, bro, is it depends on your objective, because when you're going for a title, these can be season defining. And that's where the anger does come from. You look back at these games like, you know what, if we didn't get that red and go on to win that game, we've lost the league by fine margins. But I never really get mad at refs anymore, because I just know it's not just us. I know it feels like it's always against us, but they're incompetent across the whole board. Other teams are going to get stuff that go against them and for them. But I was at the game with my old man. The minute that foul was made by Robbo, we both looked at each other like, oh, we could be in trouble here. We could be in trouble here. Yeah. And I said, don't be surprised if you get sent off. And the fact that sometimes when VAR takes long, so there was an initial red, and when VAR takes longer to make a decision, you're like, oh, there's a bit of hope here. Normally it goes the other way. So me and my old man were like, you know what? This might go for us. Then we still see that it wasn't overturned or that. Oh, it's quite spooky. But I think it's testament to the team. At not one point, I thought we would lose the game. Maybe not win the game, but not at one point, I didn't think we would lose that game. Even when they scored the second with, I believe it was Menis, I looked at my old man and I said, you'd think they have 10 men. The way we're bringing it to them, and the way we threw the kitchen sink, they regressed, they retreated. They're like, hold on, this team are getting even better with a man less than us. And I was just proud of that, because Grizz, you put a tweet up that I quoted. I was initially frustrated because I'm thinking title race, draws are like losses. I've always said, if you've got 2 games, I'd rather win and a loss than 2 draws, because you get more points for the loss than the win. But I was so frustrated. And you take a day to calm down, like you said, Drift, emotions are quite high. You take a game to just calm down, and you're like, you know what? Going behind early, having a man down, going behind twice, and to show that character to get back into the game. And I don't know who said it earlier, it was 2 points dropped. For me, that's a point gained. Honestly, that's a point gained. And then when you see the other results, you know who we're speaking about, you start to feel even a bit better. But I do hear your frustration, Drift, but I can't get mad at refs anymore. And it's sad. We should be able to get mad, but we just know they're incompetent. And I just look at the performances, and overall, I take a lot of positives from that.
Is it incompetence, bro? You know, when you, like you said, we thought maybe it'll swing back our way because they were taking long. Bro, they're only checking the offside. So, they didn't even check the possibility of it not being a goal-scoring opportunity. Virgil was there to... They didn't check any of that, which is actually the letters of the law. They were just making sure it was onside.
No, but
I didn't know that. I thought they were checking the actual foul.
No, but VAR,
talk about making a name for yourself.
Clear and obvious, if it's a clear and obvious error. But he didn't make a clear and obvious error. All of us are sat here saying that at the moment we thought it was a red card. And every would. And the thing is, the points I was going to make in regards to these referees, they are extremely inconsistent. In my personal view, one of the best games that we've had as a referee that's reffed our game was actually this referee when we played against Brighton at Anfield, when we beat them 2-1. He was our referee, and I thought he reffed that game perfectly. He did a very, very, very good job. He was letting the game play. There wasn't too many controversial decisions, and it was just a very well reffed and very well managed match by that referee. But then on the flip side, this Fulham game was an absolute farce. There was loads of decisions in that game. The red card for me, fine, but the Gravenberch one is just mind-boggling that wasn't a red card. And even in the first minute with that Diop, maybe he just thought us too early in the game. That's nonsense. It's a red. There was so these referees are just inconsistent, and I completely agree with Roms. Like, now I've just taken out the emotion of referees because they're all just absolutely incompetent, every single one of them.
The only thing I'm going to finish off with the ref chat, because the only thing is with VAR, you take your time and you don't make the decision. I think you give the lesser of the decisions or the game-changing controversial decision, because then you have a whole team to correct you if you're wrong. So you can say, he could have said, right, I'm giving a yellow, but can you check for a red for me? You know, I'm not sure. Can you tell me where in the play Virgil was, if he had control of the ball, etc., etc. These are the kind of things, because we know once you made a decision, VAR won't overrule it. Do you get it? There has to be clear and obvious error. So that's why I thought he was inexperienced. You know, like Virgil said, he was nervous. But listen,
but his linesman was there.
He had a decision to make. Look, he had a decision to make, Cav. And the reason why he had a decision to make, because Robertson had an indifferent, let's say, okay, no, he had a horrible opening, 15 minutes, was it 10 minutes on the pitch?
Yeah.
Wherever longer, he had a horrible 10 minutes. First, he gets taken out, absolutely taken out. Then he does what he done. No, sorry, then he concedes a goal at the far post.
Can I quickly chime in on that point, right? I'm not just making an excuse for Robertson, because we've seen in the Southampton game, the Madrid game, giving away penalties. He is slowly regressing. But what I will say, I genuinely believe he was injured after that.
I was going to come to that.
Because I don't know if you saw it on camera, but he was hobbling certain times. When play would stop or go out for a goal kick or a corner, he was hobbling.
No. I was gonna finish the question or point with Cav just by saying exactly that. So he makes the error to our eyes, not without being at the game. Could have done better at the far post, takes a deflection, whatever, blah, 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 and then concedes a penalty. But then it comes to light. I was going to say, then it comes to light that he was actually injured and he shouldn't have carried on, even Slot says. But this Robertson chat carries on from the chat that we had a couple of weeks back in terms of the long-term position role. I'm assuming it's only enhanced your opinion, right?
Yeah, look, injured or not, I think, to be honest, his reactions are just getting slower and slower. I mean, you can even look at the first goal. A lot of people laid some blame at him. I laid a portion of that blame to Trent. Seeing, being face on to the man in possession, seeing Robinson, who bombs up and down the wing, week in, week out, has done it against us enough times, and just let him coast by him and not even get in front of the cross, which is just schoolboy stuff. You stop the cross, right? Robertson's positioning isn't good. The man's behind him. The striker should never see your number because clearly he's got the advantage over you. Then this is schoolboy stuff, right? And he's able to get there. Okay, he gets back and gets his body in the way and it's deflected in, but his reactions aren't great. And you have to be able to react to the game as it's happening, right? So regardless of whether you think Trent should have stopped the cross or not, that ball looped into the box. You should have been positionally set to respond to that. He didn't. He gives away he gets the red card because injury or not, he didn't react in time. And we've seen this, he's given away a few penalties now. The one against Southampton was because he just didn't respond in time. He didn't get himself set. He didn't go with the runner. He dived in because these quick reactions that he's always been so good at are just slowing a little bit, and everything's just a little bit too late, or it's just making the wrong decision because he's not reacting in time. So injury or not, I think in my personal opinion, it was a red, and it kind of hasn't brought to light because we've been having a conversation about Robertson a bit this season, whether he is the man to take Liverpool forward in that position. My opinion is that he should remain at Liverpool because I think he still has some plot to pay. If you watch the inside training, you'll see how important he is to things behind the scenes. He's always the man sat at the coffee bar that's welcoming everybody in, laughing and joking. He's building that harmony. He's one of the captain's group, so he's leading and supporting people off the pitch. And I don't think you can just get rid of that at this point in time, with Slot still being new and the team still being in its transition. I just don't think you can get rid of that just yet. On the pitch, I think he'll do an admirable job, but I think you need to manage his minutes. He's played a lot because Simi's injured, and that's part of the conversation as well. I just think that he needs to be playing at least every other game at this point now, or at most every other game. Rest his legs, roll him out for particular games where you need his energy, and just manage him better. But I think moving forward, we need to get a left back that offers us just a bit more in both directions, to be honest with you, because I think he's regressed in both. So I'm not going to get on here and pile on and say he's terrible, he's rubbish, get rid of him, because I still think he has a plot to play at this club. I just think that part needs to be lessened, and I think it's one of our key areas to strengthen. And I'd like to see us do it as early as January, to be honest with you, because as good as Simi's been, it's just whenever we need him, he seems to be there half the time. And if we want to move forward as a club, that's somewhere we need to strengthen. So, not good for Robbo. He's had a few performances like that. He's had big moments like that, but it's what we've got for now. So we're just going to have to relax a little bit and just continue with him.
Normally I'm good at segueing into parts, but I think that's my fault, because obviously naturally the flow of the chat should go towards left backs then and what we should do in January. But we're going to hold that chat just for a few minutes, people. Over 415 of you guys in here, but still we haven't reached 100 likes. That's mad ratio. You must hate us right now. This is the toxicity that Drifty was talking about. Is this the toxicity that you were talking about? People, are you toxic people in here? Like, get the likes up, man.
That's the likes.
Grizz, if I may, and this may be a segue or not, I'm not sure what you wanted to come on to, but we've just spoken about refs, right? And we've just spoken about Robertson. Of course we can't. Should. Big conversations. Those two things ain't what cost us those points. In my personal opinion, if we want to talk about goals conceded, we need to be talking about Trent. Because think I label a lot of blame for them goals on him. Now,
I actually want to add to this, because again, echoing what Cav said, I don't know if you were going to segue on to Trent, but Trent's performance on Saturday was reminiscent of, do you remember the Napoli performance when we lost 4-1, where his application just wasn't there? He was actually recognizing danger, and he kind of said to himself, I can't be asked. It was a lapsadaisical attitude. And I've always said with Trent, rival fans, let them do what they want to do. But I think as a Liverpool fan base, we know he's not as bad as a defender as other people may imply. It's always been an application thing for Trent, because there's games, and you've seen it predominantly this season, because he's asked for me to not go forward as much. When he wants to defend, he can defend. And we know this as a fan base, but he didn't look bothered on Saturday. He did. And I'm with you, Cav, because I was actually second half was in Annie Road, and we were nearer his side, and he just didn't look bothered. He did not look bothered. I actually believe, especially the second goal, if he really wanted to avoid that, because I know he was speaking about the first goal, but even the second, that could have been nullified. That could have been nullified, in my opinion. And I think you're spot on. I don't think it's tactical. I don't think it's the red card. I don't think it's the ref as to why we dropped points that game. And I don't like to blame it on one person, because there's a cliche saying it's never normally just one person's fault. But I'm with you, Cav. I think he was the main catalyst to us dropping points that game.
You're dead right. It's never one player. It never is, right? But when you are down to 10 men and every single player was busting a gut, and both goals were conceded because you could not be bothered to follow your man, where it's not a surprise that he's running down the wing. It's not a surprise he's doing an overlap. He's literally done it to you enough times. It was their only threat in the game, right? And you decided that you couldn't be bothered, because that second goal where he tried to drag him down and then went, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I now should start sprinting. It's not good enough. Because if I'm Trent and I'm at right back and I'm looking up the pitch at the other 9 players, right? 8 players, and I'm seeing how hard they're working. As vice captain, as the man that's currently negotiating his contract, I don't care what talent you've got in your foot. Start running.
Yeah.
Start running and match the effort that all your teammates are putting in. And that for me is not acceptable. I don't care what talent you've got to match it with effort.
Do you know what as well, Cab? Last point. Trent, and we all know this, but this is where, because Trent's done this even in games that we've won, but he can cheat a little bit because Konate puts out them fires. But where a Gomez and a Kwanzaa aren't of a Konate level, it kind of showed his deficiencies even more, and it showed his laziness even more, because there's been countless games. I would even say Arsenal, when we drew 2-2 earlier this season, where Trent's application wasn't really there, but Konate just sweeps up everything. He literally, it's like his get him out of jail card, and you're spot on. You saw everyone, Gravenberch playing 4 positions, so Boslai playing X amount of position, everyone busting their gut but him, and he stood out like a sore thumb, in my opinion.
Can I come in and play devil's advocate?
I was gonna say, and I think, okay, so we need some kind of balance. Yeah. No, we don't need it, because if something needs to be called out, we call it out. But what I'm saying is, surely, do we all have the same opinion? That's what I was thinking. So I'm not doing it for the sake of balance, but go on, I'll let you go and then I'll go and then maybe.
I agree with what the lads are saying. He just didn't look like he was bothered that game. But because I do agree with a lot of what the lads have just said, there is one point, there's a few points. First of all, he has just recently come back from injury. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but he has just recently come back from injury. That's just 1 point. But he has been back now for like 2 weeks. So maybe that shouldn't be too much of a deal. But I think the one player who's most affected by that red card in that match is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent's playing right back. We know, we've watched him over the years. We've
Rom's
watched him
made
so
a
many
brilliant
years.
point about that. Yeah, about the
We've watched him for so many years. He's always needed that protection. Not protection, but like that cover on the right-hand side, whether it be Szoboszlai or whether it be the Hendersons of the past, or Konate. He's always had that support on that side. As soon as Robertson gets sent off in that game and Gravenberch becomes that centre-back and we're left with 2 centre midfielders, that protection is gone. It's not there. It's non-existent anymore. So I think that really did affect Trent and his application in that game. But do you know what? It's indefensible that Robinson could just run off him like that. Like, you just got to follow your man. It doesn't matter if you've got 10 men on the pitch, 9 men on the pitch, or 11 men on the pitch. You got to follow your man. It is a joke.
Yeah, but if you can't physically do it, then what do you do, guys?
I know, this is the thing.
He physically couldn't do it. Robinson had a 5 meter head start on him, and Trent's energy levels were finished. He couldn't keep up with him physically. I don't think it was a one of didn't want to. I think he was shattered.
No, but he looked like he didn't want to. That's the thing. Like, even when the ball went into the box, he just literally stopped and he's just looking. Even when the goal went in, he was just like, his body language just.
He didn't want to, Grizz. He didn't want to. Go.
I don't think he could though. I don't think he could.
He was running slower than the referee for the second goal.
Yeah,
but I don't think he could drift. I blame. Look, this is controversial because I know Trent's the talk of the town, and we're gonna get onto why. We're gonna get onto why Trent is scrutinized more. We know why, because of the contract. But Kwanzaa, man, that's the final man, last man. Kwanzaa's got a little bit bullied and shouldered there, man. Konate doesn't let that happen. He got on the wrong side of Kwanzaa.
No, that's
Kwanzaa's
true.
the man that saw everything. And I'm not just piling on Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa young. He's going to make centre back his own, in my opinion.
His confidence is on the floor.
He's going to be a bad boy, but his confidence
has been from the Ipswich game.
That was for me, Kwanzaa.
I wanted to like add to that point as well. Like, yeah, okay. As soon as that goal went in, I don't know if anyone else noticed this as well, but we also seen another tactical masterclass by our beautiful, bold manager Arne Slot. As soon as that goal went in, he brought on Harvey Elliott. He took Trent off. He brought on Harvey Elliott. He deployed Harvey Elliott in a right midfield kind of position. And then he went into like a 3 centre back. Sorry, like
it was like a 3-3-3. Yeah,
it was like a 3-3-3. But Elliott was pushed wide, onto midfield. For me, as soon as that second goal went in, it was like someone stabbed me in the back, like someone stabbed me in the stomach. I thought, it was a gut wrencher. I was thinking that all that effort, all that application we provide, it's such a gutting moment. But then I honestly thought the game was over. Like, we're not going to come back from that point. But honestly, this guy is a genius. Honestly, he is such a tactical masterclass with everything that he does. He's so smart. He brought on Elliott, and that completely negated the Fulham's left-hand side. Did you see any attacks after that point from Fulham's left-hand side? No. What did Marco Silva do to combat those changes? He brought on Adama Traore, and their only chance in that game after Arne Slot made those changes was with Adama Traore when Alisson made a good save from the right-hand side. Left-hand side was completely locked up. And I could never see that happening the way he deployed Elliott just behind Salah, and then he made like a three midfielders and Gravenberch being like a 4th centre-back. Then the guy is so smart. Honestly,
that's what I want to come to. We're not going to go through each detail because the game's gone, and you lot have all been on shows and platforms and done content about it, talking about it in detail. I just want to skip through the game very quickly. And Drift, I want to ask you about we get the equalizer. We get the equalizer from Gakpo, who's been an absolute. I don't know. I'll let you speak on Gakpo, like what he's been and what he's changed. And has your opinion always been of him like that, and has it changed? And B, just watching those men play like 1.2 man. Each man played like 1.2 man, because that's the only way we were going to overcome this. Like, I'm not going to lie. I felt like Cav saying, I felt like 10 foot tall watching those players bust a gut. And again, not often is it spoken about Virgil's leadership qualities. I think Virgil's leadership qualities are coming to the fore, Drift.
Yeah, no, facts, bro.
So
facts.
first the Gakpo one. Sorry, I know I asked about 7 questions.
No, that's cool. I mean, the only thing Slot did that annoyed me in that Fulham game was leave Trent on as long as he did. I don't think we could see the second goal if he'd have hooked him when I wanted him to, which is about after an hour. But that's neither here nor there. But the way Virgil's been leading the team since he took over is impeccable. If there was one thing that I was worried about with Henderson leaving, because I knew his legs were deceiving him now, but it was not having his leadership around the club. And I hold my hands up. I've never doubted that Virgil could be a captain, but I doubted he was the best decision. I personally looked at Salah and I looked at Robertson, and I felt like they just seemed like they would be better captains to follow in Henderson's footsteps. Because I've seen a few times when Virgil had been captain while Hendo was here, and we always had a bad game. And I don't know if it was like skewing my judgment of, did it have something to do with Virgil was captain today? Because it would be Virgil having a bad game on that day as well. So it was like, is it weighing heavy on him being captain or something like that? So maybe that was playing in my mind, but he's been impeccable as a captain. Absolutely impeccable. So much so that I'm even starting to question whether Hendo is a better captain than Virgil. That is how good Virgil's been in the time he's been captain. And that's not taking anything away from Henderson. I love Henderson, but I'm just looking at what Virgil, he might have even learned from Henderson, because he's doing a lot of stuff Henderson used to do. The motivation, the talking, the getting everybody together, not letting anyone stand as slack. But he's been impeccable. And Gakpo, Bob, it's going under the radar.
It's going under the radar.
There's a few people in our team, and this is I was talking about the toxicity, Grizz, and I was saying that it's annoying me, and I don't care if people are saying that I'm being overly positive or whatever. I'm trying my best to live by our mantra, and of course I'm gonna lose my head in certain times. We all do, but generally speaking, try to be logical rather than emotional. Cody Gakpo's got 7 in 9. Nobody's talking about it. People will say our numbers aren't good enough from our forwards. All of our forwards got 15 plus goals last season. Then I get told, but how many win so what? Scoring in the league is the only metric now. If we score in cups, doesn't count, does it? No, I don't remember that ever being a thing. I just remember a goal for Liverpool being a goal for Liverpool. So I'm always defending our front line. Everyone in our front line got 15 goals last season or more. But yeah, apparently our front line is crap. Name me anyone in Europe that had 5 forwards with 15 goals last season. Anyone. I'm not even saying there isn't. Just bring it to me, because I haven't seen it. So apparently none of our forwards are good enough. Then this Gakpo stuff, Gakpo this, Gakpo that. He's got 7 in 9. Is that not enough, people? Is 7 in 9 not a good return for a wing forward? I think that's a brilliant. I don't even think you could ask for much more. Gakpo's popping up with important goals. He's building a relationship with Mo now where he's understanding, if I arrive at this back post, Mo will find me. Do you know what I mean?
They talk about it. The funny thing is, they talk about it before every game. You see them communicating and talking.
I'm telling you.
All that business. It looks like basic shit, but stop it. If it's basic shit, stop it.
This is what I'm saying. And I just don't understand how people are looking at our front line and not being okay with it. Like, could we improve? Yeah, everybody can improve on everything. That's just life. But when we're winning games, and then the topic afterwards, Grizz, is our forwards aren't good enough, it's winding me up, and I'm trying my hardest to not get wound up by it. But I'm like, we just won the game, and all you want to talk about is who's not good enough in the team. Like, it's actually pissing me off. We're top of both leagues. Why on earth is that the topic of discussion? Yeah, we can critique, we can criticize a little bit, we can have these little nuances. Every now and again, we can have a talk about this and about that. But I'm watching people in the chat across multiple streams, Liverpool-based. We've won a game, and all people care about is, I don't think Diaz is good enough. I don't think Gakpo's good enough. I don't think Nunez is good enough. Salah's our only good player. What?
Because agendas have to be agenda.
This is what I'm saying. But I don't get why there's agendas against
what it is.
I
tell you what it is. I tell you what it is. And a lot of people do it. And I've done it probably in the past as well. But I'd like to think I've changed, man. Like, you go through motions as a supporter, and especially if you have a platform and you have a chance to speak, and if you are blessed enough to have some sort of influence on a fan base and people minds the mentality, then what you try to do is influence your agenda, your opinion, and you hate to be disproved. So if I say Nunez is whack and Nunez turns good, I'm gonna keep saying Nunez is whack. Yeah,
that's where it's wrong.
And that's where it's wrong.
Yeah.
My attitude, I want to be slapped up and humbled by my Liverpool people. I want to be proved totally wrong about Nunez, about Robertson, about whoever, Sabozalai, whoever. I love that because it's for the betterment of the team. But it's a dangerous territory when we get into content creation and sort of, you know what I mean? It's like murky waters. Well, we want to get into that. But just, I know, Roms, I'm going to let you go. Diaz and Gakpo are basically sharing the minutes on the left. If you combine their numbers, it's actually superb from that left side. Like, if you combine Gakpo and Diaz's numbers, they're on Salah levels.
Yeah.
Like, deep that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to have a
Or would we
discussion.
rather have two players doing it rather than one? Because if you lose the one player, you lose everything, right?
Exactly. Cav, that's a great point.
And
now we're gonna, but
yeah.
where the conversation I think we're gonna go to now actually is the central area, and we're probably gonna segue into that because Roms, a certain forward came on that we've been missing, by the name of Diogo Jota. You was at the game. You know when he does that turn, like the initial turn where he's created the space for a shot.
Yeah.
It's over, innit?
It's done. Do you know what I've always said? I've always said? Diogo Jota's dribbling is so underrated. So underrated, in my opinion. And I was just going to go on to the point of he's my favourite player at the club. And I've always said he's not the best finisher before people rip my head off, but he's the most natural finisher at our club, in my opinion. And I think there's a game that literally embodies what I'm saying. The Spurs game when he scores the last minute goal, I think only he scores from that position, in my opinion. This is what I mean, whether it's left foot, right foot, whatever angle he scores from. But Grizz, we've missed him. We've missed him because, like Drifter said, there's been a lot of toxicity in the fan base. Our forward line's not good. But if you had to pick one player that takes the pressure off Salah, it's him. If you had to pick the other match winner in our forward line, it's him. If you had to pick the other player that we have on the knife edge and we need that goal, it doesn't come from Salah, it will most probably come from Diogo Jota. The only problem with Jota is, and I said he's my favourite player, but I said at the start of the season, if he continues to get injured, if we also get a bid, we might have to entertain it because, yes, you're class, and there's no way I want to see him leaving the club, but there's only so much time we can give you. It was so frustrating, Grizz, but I actually want to go back quickly just to the Gakpo point, right? Because you said with agendas, you might have an opinion on a player and they prove you wrong, but you still stick to your original opinion. That was me with Gakpo. I'm not going to lie to you, Grizz. When we signed him, I said, you know what? I'm not really too sure of this player. I had seen him a few times.
Me too, bro. Me too. Big Grizz Khan or little Grizz Khan. Me too. I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong.
And I have to hold my hands up. And I watched the game, right? My brother's Arsenal fan. I went to the PSV game where they played him in Europa League, and I think Sangare we were linked with was playing, Gakpo was playing, Yavi Simmons was playing, and Madueke was playing as well. And he didn't strike me as someone that's gonna affect the game really. He kind of forgot he was on the pitch. I remember Gakpo was a signing that happened out of nowhere. We normally do signings like that. We're quite under the radar. All of a sudden it was announced that we signed him. But when you look at his best performances, they have been from the left. You look at the 7-0 United when he scores the opener, and what a finish it was. And do you know what, Drift? I think the biggest testament to Gakpo this season is he's made that left wing position his own. I know some people might say, "Oh, is it because the manager that came in is his fellow compatriot?" But that would only benefit him if you're from the same country and he has maybe more of an understanding that you had with Klopp, and you're getting that consistency in playing time. He's made that left wing his own. For me now, he's the first name in the team sheet. And now we go into our central positions. I know you spoke about Jota, Grizz, but I love Diaz in that false nine role. And I know there's a lot of split opinions in this false nine role. But when I saw that performance in the Bayern Leverkusen game, I think he confuses defenders. They don't know whether to go with him. They don't know if to engage
himself sometimes.
He does. He does a bit too much. But I believe he confuses himself in the wider areas. I know this might be a bit harsh. I actually think his days on the left wing are more numbered. I think, look, Jota, we know Jota's not going to stay fit consistently for 3-4 months in a row. I think his better performances this season have come in that false nine role. I think he's excellent there. So my front three on paper, with Jota coming in, Jota starts. But I love the Gakpo, Diaz, and Salah on the right. I genuinely think that combination as a front three really works for us, and I think it's been evident.
Then we're gonna have to make a decision now, because this is what I want to ask, Mohammed. We're gonna go with you first. Then obviously we get to the central positions, and obviously the big debate is about Nunez, his output in his third season, I believe, and also Jota's inability to stay fit. Whether it's his fault, the injuries. Like I've been defending the last 2 injuries that big groks have just fallen on him. One broke his leg and one broke his rib. So that's not muscle or strain injuries. But the fact of the matter, like Rom said, he just doesn't play enough football. So you are in charge, because all of these mans are going to come to you, Mohammed, in the summer and say, right, we need to make a decision then. Because we know how we work. To bring someone in, we have to move someone. So we have a decision to make, I think, and I believe we have a decision to make over the 2 strikers. I don't think both strikers will be at Liverpool Football Club start of next season. I think one of them will be gone. I think I know who's going to be gone, but who needs to go in your opinion? Do we keep Jota? Because I don't know if K-Mac's stats are right. People are questioning your stats, bro. Like Scraps is saying 82 goals and assists in 100 games. Surely they aren't right, especially if K-Mac is saying it. Okay, I didn't say that bit, but but can someone double check those stats? Mohammed, you got a decision to make, my broski. In fact, all of you have. You have time to think. You don't.
Okay, that's probably the easiest question you've ever asked me your whole entire life. If it's my
Really?
choice, bro, you know where I stand with Nunez. Like, obviously, I support him. He wears the Liver Beard on his shirt. You know what I mean? He's playing in a red shirt. He plays for Liverpool. I'm going to support the lad as long as he plays for Liverpool Football Club. But if I'm Michael Edwards, I'm Richard Hughes, and I want to sell one of our strikers, it has to be Darwin Nunez. And I can't see him staying for much longer as well. I don't think it's going to work out for him at Liverpool Football Club. But whilst we've got him, listen, just use him. Use him to the best of visibility, the best that we can possibly do. It was a great assist that he gave to Jota.
Was it? Was it a great assist? People are saying it was a great assist.
Maybe a little bit too much over the top. I'm just trying to give the lads some credit. He was class when he came on against Man City as well. He was terrible against Newcastle, but we know what this lad's like now. Grizz, we be speaking for forever. You know what my views are of Nunez. I'm not his biggest fan, but as long as he's wearing a Liverpool shirt, I'll support anyone who wears a Liverpool shirt. But yeah, for me, Nunez gone. And you know who my dream signing is for that man, for the striker position, is João Pedro. I want us to get João Pedro. I think João Pedro will just suit us perfectly.
Bobby Region, is that what you're saying? Bobby,
that's who I want.
Is that what you're saying? Let's go back to Bobby.
Yeah, I want that. Bro, Bobby, do you know when we were like elite? Like with under the Klopp, that prime Klopp era. My favorite player was Firmino. Like obviously Salah was doing clutch numbers, Mane was doing bits, Gini Wijnaldum was class, Virgil was class. I just loved Firmino. I could literally sit here and watch Firmino comps all day and not get bored. He was just literally my favorite football player ever. And he was so good. The thing is with Diogo Jota as well. He's injured again. He's not going to be available tomorrow.
Okay, so he's not. No, he's not injured. He just missed training, and they do miss training from time to time. He missed training. He might have trained today. There's unconfirmed if he trained today. He missed training yesterday, which was obviously 24 hours after playing an intense 20 minutes. Like ran like a Terminator for those 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So when you got a long injury, we know what it's like. What am I saying? Like I'm a prime athlete, but
inshallah he's available for
you don't know what it's like when you come back. Yeah, inshallah he gets some minutes tomorrow.
But no, Cav, is it this game tomorrow? As long as he's
okay. Cav, is it an easy decision for you as well this summer, or is it tougher than we think? Because it is an issue, man. Jota's someone told me he hasn't played more than 50% of games since he's been here. Is that right? I don't know if anyone else knows.
It could well be, to be honest, because he does miss that amount of minutes. Yeah, look, it's quite straightforward for me, Grizz. I'm with Mo. I think it's time for Nunez to move on. For the points that Mo said, I agree with. I think he's had fair opportunity now with Jota's injuries to play and stake that position as his own, to integrate himself in with the players around him and really just to be the go-to guy. And he's not done that. He hasn't. I admire his work rate, his tracking back. I think it's really played its part in some of the results we've got recently. But truth be told, we know that we need to enhance on that number 9 position. And he's the one to go for me because I just don't think it's ever going to work out for him at Liverpool. I think he needs to go to a club somewhere in Europe, away from the Premier League, where he's the main guy. He's the guy that they target. They put crosses into the box and they let him roam around and do what he wants. And he'll bully a lot of defenders over in Europe, right? In the right league. Or you sit him down with Jamie Vardy and Jamie Vardy teaches him the art of bending your run and finding the ball through and not being caught offside. you know, he goes that way as well. But I just don't think his game is going to suit what we want to do as a football club and the style that we're going to implement under Slot. So he's the one to go. I also think that we could get a good fee from him as well. I know there's been some rumors, maybe Atletico Madrid. I could see him going there and doing really well.
If there was ever a Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid striker, it's Darwin Nunez.
Yeah, there you go. So he's got marketing. You can easily get a good feedback for him. Diego Jota, I think there'll be more question marks around because of his injuries. But Jota's just got, yes, his injuries. You just said there, some of them are quite unfortunate, which they are. It's always going to be a problem, I fear. But when he plays, he impacts. I mean, that's the thing. Even if you see him for 50% of the season, 50%, you're probably getting goals. You know, so that probably what equates to in the league 15, 16 goals. You take that if he's your second option as a striker and you're bringing somebody in to build the team around or, you know, be the main guy in the team. So for me, I keep Jota. I do sell Nunez. I think this summer's the right time for him to go and we get somebody else in. Diaz, I've quite liked up front. I think he offers something there as well. I think his touch is good, his link up's good, his work rate. You've seen the chip goal that he got in the Champions League, so he's shown he can get in behind as well. So I like all of that. So yeah, I think Nunez is the one to go for me. And just quickly on Jota, right? Just whilst we're talking about strikers, I remember a few years ago I was playing football. I only play 5 and 6 aside now, but I played with someone who made it semi-pro and then injuries took him out, but he's the best footballer I've ever played with, right? And I was talking to him and I was saying, how, you know, just general conversation. I didn't say how you're this good, but you know, kind of like that. And he says one thing that he got told to him was, because he played up front, he says, I got taught by one of my coaches to stop focusing too much on the game and focus on beating that immediate man in front of you. Because if you beat that immediate man in front of you, there's space. And not only is there space, but there's panic from everybody else. And if there's panic from everybody else or they've not reacted in time, you can exploit space. And Jota brought that back to me when he scored that goal at the weekend. He reminded me of the fact that how many times have we seen him receive the ball in the 18-yard box, around the 18-yard box, and it's one touch away from the defender. It's one movement to beat one man, and suddenly there's space open up. He's composed enough to finish it. And we've seen these amazing goals where players, I remember Ben Arthur comes to mind, where he's ran past like six players and tucked it in. But it's very rare as a striker you ever really need to do that. It's very rare you ever need to beat more than one man. And Diego Jota has just got that thing where no matter left foot, right foot, chest, head, whatever it is, he always takes the ball away from the immediate man in front of him and it presents space. And that's something I don't think Darwin Nunez is ever going to get. So for me, Jota is a pure striker for that reason and many others. And that's why I would partially stick with him and look to get somebody else that has that ability as well as others as well.
Just before we go to Nunez, Army and Drifty, there's a chat that I wanted, like, there's always one in the chat in it. This is what I think Drift was talking about. This Nunez hate is ridiculous, so unnecessary. He isn't the striker we thought. Fair enough, but support him while he's here. Are you a numpty?
I think anyone's hated.
Are you an idiot? Anyway, I don't even know why I gave you the attention. I'm the idiot actually for giving you the attention. People telling me in the chat, because me and you haven't had a discussion about Nunez. I can't remember, but people are telling me in the chat, Drift ain't liking this conversation. Why? Talk to us, brother.
I mean, I'm getting drawn into a conversation I promised I just weren't having no more.
Yeah,
I just
let
can't
me
be
talk.
asking.
Let me talk. I could tell you inside you saying, let me talk, like Kevin De Bruyne was saying.
I totally understand that Nunez hasn't been what everybody was hoping he would be to the fullest. I totally understand that he can be frustrating. Those things, I'm not stupid. I understand those things. And if you ask me overall, I would say Nunez is at this point until, you know, maybe he can find a way to improve on some of the poor things in his game, would be a good squad player rather than the first name on the sheet. But I'll be honest with you, it really, really irks me how everybody just harps on about big chances missed and that's all they ever care about when they talk about Nunez. They don't talk about any positives. They just always talk about the negatives. In his first season at Liverpool, he got 19 GA. that was a young 22-year-old trying to settle into the league. And I think that that's okay. 4 of those goals were in the Champions League. One of them was against Real Madrid. It was an adaptation period. I thought he did all right. Yes, the big chances missed can be frustrating, but all strikers do miss big chances, by the way. Haaland's big chance ratio miss is terrible, but because he'll bag 4 past Brentford and then 3 past Fulham, it'll bring up the ratio and then no one talks about it. But if you look at last season, 31 goal contributions. I have absolutely zero idea how people could say he's useless, get rid of him. Wherever, again, just like I said with the 5 forwards around Europe, how many forwards in Europe had a goal contribution of 31 last season? And then people tell me, oh, but you're going to add the assist. That's embarrassing. Oh, last time I remember, an assist is almost as important as a goal because an assist leads to a goal. Case in point of the weekend, if Nunez doesn't make the pass to Jota, we don't get the goal. So when did an assist? But it suits the narrative of the people that want to say that Nunez isn't good enough. 31 goal contributions from Nunez last season. 19 of those in the league. Those stats are good enough to be a squad player for me. I don't understand why people are acting like he's this waste of space who shouldn't be here. It's baffling and it's confusing to me. Do you know last season, 7 of his goal contributions led to the winning goal? So that was 3 points. Whether it be the assist or the goal, on 7 occasions, his pass or his finish led to it being 3 points instead of 1. So I'm like, so that doesn't matter anymore, does it? This season, was he not the one who stopped us from losing against Fulham and the one who stopped us from losing against Arsenal? The title contenders we're up against in the title race, he's the one that comes up with the brilliant assist after the beautiful pass from Trent for Mo to tuck away the equaliser so we don't lose that game, which could have swung the pendulum. Nobody cares about that. Constantly, he's been doing his thing, working up front, tirelessly running around. Nobody cares about that, though. All they care about is he'll miss a big chance. He's not good enough. He's a donkey. Rare. Nobody cares about anything good he does. So I understand he can be frustrating, but I am way past the overwhelming hate that he gets as a Liverpool player when he's contributed. Has he contributed what you think he should have? Maybe not. But he's definitely contributed. People are acting like he does nothing. 31 GA, 19 in his first season, 31 in his second season. He's currently on 6 GA in what minutes-wise equates to 10 games. Because that's another thing that people keep on forgetting as well. They go, look how many appearances he's got. Yeah, but a ton of those are just 15 minutes at the end of games. Go look at the minutes played. His minutes played this season equates to 10 games. So he's got 6 GA in 10 games. Is that the worst thing in the world? People acting like he just doesn't contribute at all. Like he's Timo Werner or some... That's what you call a donkey. That's what you call a player who has literally zero impact in a game. I'm just baffled. But he's one of us.
I hear your case.
And we act like he's some... You know what I mean?
I hear your case. I hear your case. I'm going to let Roms go. I should do a poll, actually. But Roms, you have the final say on this because we started...
You know what is drift? I was Nunez's biggest advocate. You could ask Mont. We would have many discussions. I'd give him time. I was his biggest advocate. But I just feel with Nunez as well, one of his biggest qualities is his movement. Because a lot of people say, he misses all these big chances. But if you played as a striker, which I predominantly did, you're not going to get them chances if your movement's not good. And I think he's got one of the best movement in the league. But I think it gets to a point, Drift, where if there's that decisive big chance that could lead us to the league or maybe make the deficit to another club greater, he's the guy that will kind of fluff it. And I've always said Nunez is a confidence player because I don't know if you don't realize in this stream, I always reference games. Normally, I like to go back to games. And I remember when we played Brentford, the same game that I think Jota and Jones got injured in, right? And that audacious chip, it was crazy that went in. That wasn't even the right thing to do. But at the time, I think he had scored 2 goals before in Europe. Before that game, I think he scored 2 goals. Can't remember who it was. But when he's a confidence player, right? And when he's confident, he starts to do crazy things. But my thing with Nunez is you've got to get to the point where it's kind of like, when do you say enough's enough? Because Drift, everything you said, I do agree with. But let's say we're speaking about these same things in 2 years' time. It's kind of like, when do you stop? Because Robbie Fowler come out and said something, right? I think it was about 18 months ago, and he's like, cool. But 8 months into his Liverpool career, and this is why I always say sometimes it's right message, wrong messenger. But for him, we call him the God. It's right message from the right messenger, in my opinion, of a player that played in his position. Because he said, cool, we're 18 months in now, speaking about giving him time, and he's still raw. He's doing the same things he was doing eight months ago. And it was sad when I had to kind of put my hands up, but I just don't think he will ever be that player at Liverpool. I think, like Cav mentioned it earlier, I actually think Nunez will go on to do well at another club. I'm not writing him off as a player like a lot of our fan base do. He's dead, he's this and that. But for us, sometimes in football, it's all about environments. And I just feel like he's in a very good environment now, but he's still not thriving for some reason. Yes, he's getting GA. Yes, he's contributed. He doesn't start that much, but I just think he'll go to another club. I think he'll be the best for both parties. That's what I'm saying. I think if he leaves, he will go on to do better in his career. And I just think for us, we could bring in better than him. So my choice would be a Diogo Jota. But then there's pros and cons to him because it's that Nunez is more available than a Jota. But it's a bit of bias for me because Jota's my favourite player at the club. We just don't see him enough. But it's sad with Nunez, but I just don't think he'll ever be that striker we want him to be, even if he was to give him an extra year or two. That's all.
I don't think we can. I don't want anyone to subtract or add anything to Roms. I think Roms gave a very balanced and level-headed opinion of the situation. I get Drift's points. I'm not even a Nunez fan. I'm telling you straight from the off. I never rated him from the start, but I always backed him and I wanted to. And when I went on other platforms, I was like, shut up. I was telling people about his work rate. I saw him at Villa. I keep telling the same story. Sorry, Drift, but sorry, chat, but Drift. I was at his Villa game, the second game of the season away. He made his debut. He tormented Konza and Mings, who are two of the. Well, Mings is dog shit, but people think he's a bad boy, and Konza's definitely one of the better centre backs in Premier League. Yeah, he tormented them, tortured them for the game. Like his runs, lung-busting runs, movement. He didn't score. He missed hella chances, or a couple of chances. But I turned around to my boy, shout out Don Cecito, he's in the chat. I said to him, yo, this guy, man, I can't wait for him to prove me wrong. He's shown me something here. He's a Klopp-type striker. But by the end of Klopp's tenure, even Klopp had given up on him, Drift. You could see it was so apparent. My only rebuttal, I agreed with everything that you said. My only rebuttal to you, and this is the key rebuttal, and I think this is what will sway it from a club point of view. If he cost us, unfortunately, it does matter because we are owned by FSG. We run in a certain way, right? If he cost us 25, 30 million, like a Minamino, like a Origi, like a Shaqiri, like all the other backup strikers we've had in the past, then I would say keep him around because he's dangerous and he's potent. He can be that rotational striker. But we forked out 80 million to be our main gunman. He won't be our main gunman. And that's why we have to utilize the fee, like the others have said, we can get for him, as opposed to, I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think we can get much for Jota at this stage. I don't know. We might be able to. And that's what's going to sway it, I think.
Yeah. At this point, I'm up for it. At this point, I don't mind him going anymore. As much as I love him, I don't mind him going because I'm seeing things like he's being blamed for the draw against Newcastle. And I'm just like, I just let him go now. Because all you lot are doing...
the extremities, the extremities are long.
I was talking about in our fan base.
Yeah.
We're starting to become scapegoat FC. That's all we want to do is just scapegoat someone. It's always somebody's fault. As soon as we're not winning or things aren't as good as you want it to be, who can I point a finger at? Because I need to be able to blame him. Trent suffered from it. Nunez suffered from it. Gakpo, Diaz. There's too many people in the team that it makes me uncomfortable. How many players in our team that everyone's like, right, it's his fault. He's the reason why we're not winning because Nunez missed one chance in that game. One chance, but it's his fault we didn't win the game. It's like, I'm just sick of it. So I kind of just want him to go now so that he doesn't have to get that because he hears it. You see the little things he puts out, the little cryptic messages on social. He hears it.
Yeah, but I think that works against him. I think he's too emotional, Drift. I think
I hear that, and we are all different.
I think it's fair to. I think it's fair to say, though, you are right, Drift, and this has been a conversation for as long as he's been at the club. Is what fans think of him and the hatred.
That's the problem.
But I think what's important, exactly. But what I think is important to say as part of the conversation is he has always had unwavered support from the Anfield crowd as well, right? He has always, you hear him chanting his name all
Love
the
him.
time.
Love
You
him.
know, he's always
Yeah,
had
yeah.
that support when he stepped on that pitch at Anfield, right? And I think that has a part to play, because online fans are online fans, but when he puts on the shirt and he's in front of the television and he's playing in front of these 60,000 fans that are immediately in front of him, they're supporting him. So I think that's important as well. The other thing as well is when we talk about him as a footballer, I agree with you, Roms. I think he will have a successful career over in Europe. I don't know what league that is, but I think he will. I think what's important is, I think Liverpool have given him a good platform to be successful in the Premier League as well. Because I could not imagine what he would be like if he was at United or at Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, could you imagine? But Liverpool have supported him. They've surrounded him with incredible players. I hear your GA stats drift, and you're dead right. That's an admirable contribution. But he's playing alongside Mo Salah, which is arguably one of the Premier League greats, who will find you with an eye of a needle ball and what have you. You know, you've got, he's not playing as a man surrounded by players that don't contribute as well. So I think he's been in a good team, surrounded by good players, surrounded by two really intelligent footballing managers, and he's had the support from the Anfield crowd. The online fan base is what it is. To this point, he's contributed. He works hard. It's incredible. But I'm with you when I say, for all of that, the platform's been there. He's not showcased enough. And unfortunately for me, as much as I'd love for him to work out, I have lost that faith that he will be the main guy that Liverpool need. And that's why I think that for both parties, as you said, we probably should part ways in the summer.
Do you know what? One more point on Nunez as well, and I think you touched on it, Grizz. I think this style of play doesn't suit him as well. This is why I think it might be the best for both parties, because like I said in my segment, I feel like he'll go on to still be a good striker at another club. But if you see his goals per Benfica, I'm not going to lie. See the way he bagged 30 plus goals. I don't think I watched a single Benfica game. I did what most fans did, and I went and watched the goals, maybe in a compilation. But what I realized is a lot of the goals were on the transition with space. And who was our previous manager? Jurgen Klopp. That was very gung-ho, energetic, that loved the space in behind. And Nunez, for me, excels on the transition. But where we've got Slot now, where it's more total football and we're trying to kill teams to death with passes and etc. And this is even a top six thing. The majority of the bottom half teams, they're pragmatic. They'll set up in low blocks and that nullifies space in behind for a Nunez. I feel like when his back's to goal and he has to receive the ball in tight areas, that's not really his forte. So I just think, especially in this system with Slot now, I think his time here is just done. But he'll go to another league where they play a lot of highlights, because there's a compilation I saw for Benfica, and a lot, like I said, a lot of his goals were in the transition. I'm seeing all of the other, I think 17 or 18 teams in the Portuguese league just kind of on the halfway line. He's just running through and just burying it. And that's how I know that is a player still with confidence, because regardless what league you play in, if you're going 1-on-1, you still need to put the ball in the back of the net. And he was very confident then. But I just feel like the way we play now with Slot, it's even more to his detriment. So, yeah, he'll still have a good career, in my opinion, but this stylistically just isn't really working.
Let's just say that Klopp managed to teach him the press correctly as well. Let's be honest, he'd have been an absolute destroyer. Like, seriously, he would have. But that's the other side of things as well. I don't think he's quite learnt tactically where he needs to be.
Well, Slot has alluded to that as well.
Slot has,
unfortunately and critically, guys, Slot has alluded to that as well. And that's damning for a player, you know, when the coach is saying he doesn't quite understand the tactical side of how I want to press.
He's created 26 big chances for his teammates this season. They just haven't scored them. So, I'm going
to go back to Cav's point. We as a team, we as a team create chances, man. People like Gakpo's creating chances, Diaz is creating chances. All our forwards are creating chances.
No, we do, but that sounds like someone who gets it though.
But he's a good player. No, he's got attributes that can be utilized. I just don't think his attributes suit a Slot team and as a main striker. I don't mind him sticking around. If we'd done a poll, keep Jota and Nunez off the bench, can you see Nunez being a squad player realistically? He'll have a strop, and that's what you don't need, man, as well. You know what I mean? He's not a Minamino or a Origi that will just take it. He wants to be a gunman somewhere. So I think it's best for all parties. But look,
Yeah. I'm willing to accept.
this is definitely a summer conversation, a January conversation, people. Let's move on to the last segment. Balaji says controversial, but sell both and get Cunha and Mamouche to fill the attack. Diaz might need to go as well, bro. We're not gonna just come on. Like people can say all this kind of stuff, but we're not just gonna rip up the defense, rip up the midfield. Like, the midfield was ripped up because certain mans went. Like certain mans went. We're not gonna force mans out or sell mans to replace them like that. But very quickly on that, Cunha or Pedro, Mohamed, Cunha or Pedro.
I've been singing I can't believe everyone's finally on board. I've been singing the Pedro song by myself all
Pedro.
season.
So Mohamed's Pedro, Cunha, or Mamouche.
You mean?
No, Pedro.
Anyone?
Pedro. I've been
Pedro, just
Yeah.
Pedro. Cunha though, what he's doing is very
But that's. I think this
Cunha's
is
growing.
1 to 10.
Yeah. Remember that no dickhead policy?
I say João Pedro is as well, but Cunha plays a little bit more deeper. I think they're very similar profiles, but I think
but look at Cunha's behavior, man. Taking off man's
and we don't tolerate that. Yeah.
No dickhead policy, remember? Yeah. Ain't happening. Ain't running. All right. January, round the corner. We are favourites for the league. Am I right? First and foremost, we all agree. Are we like? Does anyone don't think we're favourites?
Ask me after Tottenham.
No, but right now, that's after Tottenham. I agree with you. I might change my mind after Tottenham, but right now, who's favourites?
I guess slightly. Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
Slightly. Okay. So if we are favourites right now, and I agree, it's slightly. If we are favourites right now, January's around the window. We've had injuries to key players. Situations are developing around our centre backs and our defenders. We need a left back. The noise seems to be. I need you to name me the left back that you want. Mohamed, will start off with you.
That's the thing, though. Is it what I want or what will happen in January? Because they're two different things. What will happen is nothing. We know nothing will happen.
No. What you want?
What I want? Well, ideally, signing a left back would be great. I'm a bit greedy though in regards to who I want, because I know there's a lot of chat about look, Kirkes is very good. I don't think Robertson is as good as people are making out as well. I think he is a good player, but he's 27. I don't think he was excellent against Liverpool the other day. I think Salah had him in a few occasions in the first half and in the second half. Attackingly, yeah, he was pretty good, but I wouldn't go for Robertson either. For my position, I feel kind of nervous to even mention it, but I don't think I wouldn't even sign anyone in January, regardless, to be fair. I wouldn't want to sign anyone in January personally. I want to continue with Robertson and Simicast until the summer. But I'm saying this is for like a summer transfer. I would go for Bastoni. And I know he's not a left back. But this is with the view of Virgil eventually. You know, he's 33 now. Eventually, he's going to.
So you're saying save all our money, don't buy nothing, save all the big dollars.
Happens, great. If it happens, great, fantastic. I'm not going to complain. I'm just being realistic with myself because I know it won't happen. I know what FSG are like.
Can you give me a realistic name? Because Bastoni is the best defender in the world after Virgil.
I know, but this is why I said to you, I felt greedy even mentioning it because I'm looking at it from a long-term view. I'm looking at it if he can come in as a left back for us, because he can play there. If he comes in as a left back, a defensive left back, eventually Virgil's going to leave Liverpool within. Hopefully he signs a contract, but if he leaves Liverpool next year or the year after that, Bastoni comes into that left centre back role. I just feel like it'll be a perfect transition, and then hopefully we can buy another left back more down the line. It is a little bit. It is very greedy, and it's probably zero chance that we do get Bastoni. I don't know.
Realistic name?
Is there a realistic name? In January? No, there isn't a realistic name in January. If I'm being 100% honest with you, if you want to go and get Kirkes, Bournemouth will add in 20 million on top of the price. If you want to
get summer, is there a realistic name in summer?
All right, so the realistic name in the summer will probably be Kirkes. Honestly, thinking about it, would be Kirkes.
Cav, is there anyone that's caught your mind, like in terms of we need a left back and this is the profile we need? So
no one's a dead cert for me.
Okay.
Yeah, no one's a dead cert for me. But one idea I've always kind of enjoyed, and I get he's probably more of a winger, but plays at left back, is Ryan Aït-Nouri. I just see the techie footwork, and I see his ability to receive the ball on both feet and ride presses. And I just think, can we work with that ability to really facilitate us building out from the back better, and maybe, creating more opportunities further forward? He's not exactly what we need, but I just see ability there that I'm like, could we train him to be what we need? And if we can, I think we'd have a really technically brilliant left back. And I think he would help Virgil when Virgil gets a bit in his later years as an outlet at the back as well, and so on and so on. So by no means finished article, but something there that we could maybe work with. Defensively, he's not that solid, so a lot more consideration needs to be made with him. Robertson is getting older. He'd go against the Edwards policy to sign, but I do like his energy up and down the pitch. I think that really would serve as something quite beneficial to us. Kirkes, I watched the other night. I've not watched Bournemouth a lot, but I watched the West Ham Bournemouth game from my sins, and I didn't think he genuinely. It could have been someone else. I wouldn't have known. He just looked like such an ordinary player. I can't quite see what's so special about him. But yeah, there's no dead cert for me. Talking about January transfers, I'm with you, Mo. I'd leave left back. I'd try to get by for the rest of this season. I think one thing that's crucial, it's the same as what it was in the summer, but for different reasons now, is that number 6. And I tell you for why. I don't think we win anything this season if Gravenberch is out and we don't have something like him.
Facts.
Because he is that
agreed.
good. This is how I describe how good he is. When he had an off game, Liverpool were terrible at Newcastle. Yeah. When he had a good game, he made it seem like we had an extra man at the weekend.
He was ridiculous. I know we didn't touch on Gravenberch. He was ridiculous. I called him. I tweeted him, and it got a little bit of traction. But I called him he played 4 roles. Like, we talk about Dutch football being the epitome of total football. He was Mr. Total Football. He was asked to play as a 6, as a double pivot, as an 8, as a 5, as a sweeper, as a third centre back. He played every role immaculately. And you said something before we went live. Like, if you're good at football, you're good at football. And this kid is good at football. He knows how to play football. He's one of those ones you put on the pitch and you put him in any position. Like Steven Gerrard, we used to say about Steven Gerrard. He's been a revelation. Drift, is there any left back that you've had your mindset on? Like you said about Pedro for the forward. Is there one that you're saying, yeah, I got my eyes on you and I want it to manifest?
In terms of left backs, not really.
Okay.
Not really. I got to be honest with you. Like I'm still on the.
Are you with Cav? Like the 6 is the most important.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of Hincapié coming in and being a centre back that can play left back. I'm all for that. Do you get what I mean? And I think we do need to consider that. So I probably would still say Hincapié is the one overall, but I don't have an overarching love or real need to want when it comes to the left back, because it is a little tricky. I just wish Tsimikas could stay fit. But the number 6, 100%. I mean, we've got Ruud Gravenberch at the moment. It's absolutely insane. Or with Ryan Hullet, whichever way you want to spin it.
Oh, he's the best midfielder in the world right now. And that's no cap. Right now, he's the best midfielder in the world right now.
Yeah.
He's on a whole nother level. Gravenberch, though, and if we do sign a 6, what type of 6? So say if we sign Zubimendi, would we play Zubimendi with Gravenberch and move Gravenberch from this position that he's excelling in?
No, Zubimendi holds the bench and we have rotation. We're Liverpool. This is what we do, man. We don't bring Gravenberch out of that role. We just bring somebody in so that if there's an issue, we have cover.
Sell that?
But I don't even really want Zubimendi, even though I think he's a supreme talent. I don't really like how he treated us in the summer. If we get him, I'm not going to be annoyed because he is a baller. But I believe we just go down to the South Coast and we leave with everything. I just want Liverpool to go and take Belieber and Pedro from Brighton. Whatever they want, give it to them. 160 mil or whatever it's going to cost for both of them. And then we leave. And that right there, that future-proofs us. And then when Belieber's playing, you put McAllister next to him if Gravenberch can't play, and he's still got the control, and you've got the defensive now. If Belieber's
it'd be more of a
sell
to Belieber. I agree with Mohammed. To sell that project would be
How do you sell the project? This is my whole point. Like, we've got our starting midfield 3 for me would be Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, and we can all agree that's quite solid. Szoboszlai over the last couple of weeks has been fantastic as well. We love McAllister, we love Gravenberch. How do we, if we sign someone like a Belieber or a Zubimendi, how do we sell that project to them that, oh, you're going to be a rotation player? Whereas they could potentially be a starter.
That's football now, though, G.
Coming to Liverpool, man.
It's not just football.
That's football right now.
Okay, but name any other club across the world that has 5 or 6 world-class elite midfielders in their team. Like,
but they're not. They're not.
Yeah,
but
but
they're
ours
not.
aren't
They're not
really.
world class elite midfielders,
And-
Mohammed.
and Real Madrid-
They're playing elite
Real Madrid,
levels.
Kroos,
Yeah,
Modric,
who's
Valverde,
world class? They're not
Yeah,
world
okay.
class, Mohammed.
Well,
They're
okay,
playing
that's
world class.
Real Madrid.
Mohammed, let me finish. They're playing world class elite levels of football right now. To sustain that in 4 trophies in 4 competitions, you need more options to rotate and rest. Look at what you just said. Oh, I think Captain, the first sign of fatigue and everything, and we're struggling for options. He doesn't trust Endo. So to replace Endo, he needs to bring in a player. How they sell it to him is, in my opinion, very simple. And any player worth his salt will say, okay, I'm going to Liverpool Football Club, potentially Premier League champions, right? Potentially Champions League winners, potentially, you know what I mean by that. One of the best clubs in the world. There's 3 or 4 other midfielders. He plays 3 in midfield. I'm good enough to just, yeah, man, I'm in that mix. Are you saying we go to a football match where we're playing? If we go to a similar match, you know, go on.
This is my 4 points. You don't hear where I'm coming from. In regards to our starting midfield, it's class. It's very, very good. If we bring in I hope we do bring in someone of the quality of like a Belieber or somebody of the quality of Zubimendi. It's just we'll have the similar situation that we do now with Diaz and Gakpo, where both of them being on form in the left wing. Who do
Is there a problem?
No, that's healthy competition.
I
was just going to say, there's no issue with that.
No, but hear what I'm coming from. Hear what I'm coming from. It's difficult to explain in my mind, but it makes sense.
We're going to give you 2 minutes.
I haven't seen us in the past have this kind of like situation in the field. Like even the prime club team, it was Fabinho, it was Henderson, it was Wijnaldum, and you pretty much knew who was going to be playing. And if one of them does go down, it's quite unfortunate. You can see with Manchester City now, obviously there's other factors with what's happening with them. But obviously Roger went down, there's no replacement for them. But there's not many teams that usually have a life-for-life quality replacements for their top players in terms of like a Gravenberch. Like if Gravenberch goes out injured, and I hope he doesn't because he is literally so important to us. And if our season could just be ruined if he does go down.
I still don't get your point though.
I think my point makes sense in my head. I
still don't get your point.
I think the guys.
What you're suggesting is because no one's got good players.
No, it's not that.
Good players.
I'm saying maybe more in terms of instead of going out and signing somebody like a Zubimendi, like a Belieber that's basically established that's going to cost us. I don't know how much. Belieber probably about 100 million. That's Brighton for you. I don't know how much Zubimendi will be. Let's just say he's about 60. Instead of signing someone like that, maybe a facilitating type of midfielder who's got more of a promising future that we can build on.
Why?
But then he becomes the scapegoat when he's not good.
That's how you build the type of squad that can work.
No, you don't. You build a squad that for when one player is missing, you have the adequate quality of replacement. Endo is very visibly, very physically, very apparently not the okay. So absolutely. To improve a player, you need to bring in a good player. We're just naming names that we've been linked with. It doesn't mean
the improvements.
How much they cost, it's not our problem.
The improvements has to be on Endo. That's my whole point. Like Endo is he's just a top player.
No. Why are you downgrading? Why are you?
No, I'm not downgrading because I'm upgrading.
No, your expectations are being downgraded. Why are you downgrading your expectations?
Because Endo is part of our squad. He is part of our squad, whether we like it or not. He's always on the bench. He's part of our squad. Our squad just doesn't like him, and maybe it doesn't work in our team.
He's not part of our squad, in effect.
He is though, because he's on the bench.
You'll see him tomorrow.
He is.
He's not part. He's part of our squad just because we couldn't.
Why is he on the bench? This is my whole point.
But he doesn't even play when he's on the bench.
I know, but he does come on. He comes on here and there. And
on the slot, not really.
Here and there, the odd game, he does come on.
I get your point about the team morale, and you have to keep the unity, and you have to keep we don't want awkward decisions to make. But I don't agree with it. I want awkward decisions to be made. I want Slot every press conference to say, "Yeah, it's one of those problems, but I love having this problem." This week I got to choose between Belieber and Gravenberch. I love that.
Chris, do you know what that's worried about that?
I've never seen in my life.
I have.
The way that we're viewing it right now, and the way that you're talking about it, we might as well have a world-class option in every single position on the pitch. 22 players.
We nearly do. We nearly do.
Do you know what? And do you know why this isn't a
player we have in every position?
We nearly do.
Except Gravenberch's.
We did under Klopp, you lot. Under Klopp. Do you remember when we had Ox, we had Milner, we had Flacco, we had Genie, we had Henderson, we had a great midfield. We had Naby Keita.
You know, I feel I know what you're kind of saying, that you can't really sell that because they're going to come in and want to be guaranteed starts. Probably going to have to pay a marquee tan for them. And you're kind of like, we're so balanced and good in that department. But what Grizz is saying, myself saying, Cav and Drift, is that's even better, because what happens is competition normally breeds better performances anyway. So none of our players can have a day off, and the rotation will be there because we play 50 to 60 games circa most seasons anyway. I think that's what the club needs. That's actually how big clubs operate. I think that's
the biggest
exactly
club
what
in
we
world
need.
football and has been for the last God knows how long.
Exactly.
Real Madrid. Go through their midfielders. That's what you call world-class elite midfielders. They didn't stop. They still
What do you mean right
brought
now?
you.
Or do you mean when they were like a couple of years back when it was Modric, Cruz, and
My brother, when they won 3 Champions League in a row, they had 5 midfielders to rotate.
All right, name them.
Every single time.
Name them. Modric,
Modric, Cruz, Casemiro.
Yeah.
Valverde.
Valverde wasn't there when they won 3 in a row.
Valverde
I think he was there for the last year.
Valverde was there. 100% was there.
He wasn't.
Million
he was. 3 in a row.
Not 3, no, for the last one. Out of the 3, I think
the last one, yes. The last one, yes. But Modric was very old. Cruz was very
cross
old.
the ball when they beat us.
I'm talking when they were in their prime.
Yeah, of course he was. He was there, man. He was there.
No, I'm talking about when they were in their peak, their prime.
You had Asensio coming into that kind of 10 role as well. You had quality.
You had James Rodriguez, but he's more of a cam. Cool. You had Asensio coming in.
Look, okay. Can I go back to your argument then? I'll go back to your argument. Look at the 3 that you named. You said we've got 3 starting midfielders. Yeah. Hold on. You named 3. Yeah. Then you stopped.
Exactly. That's my point. This is what I was trying to say to you. Like, it's very, very rare to have.
No. 3 that you named for Liverpool.
What Liverpool? When? When did
Liverpool's midfield. You named 3 midfielders.
Right now.
Yeah. You said, in my opinion, the 3 starting midfielders are this.
Okay, and then you throw in Curtis Jones to the mix, and then you can also throw Harvey Elliott into the mix.
You can't. No, you can't. See, why are you lowering your expectation levels?
By lowering it.
Harvey Elliott's been more.
I don't want. You're saying I don't want a player as good as them because I don't know. Because
no, I didn't say that, bro. I didn't. I want someone on the same level of Endo, on the same level as like a Curtis Jones.
Why? Why do you want on the same level?
Because that's how you just have a good squad that rotation. I don't know.
No, you should want to play as good as the 3 that are starting. You should want every player to have a case for starting.
If we want Konate out the
team, the whole point. Right now, I can make a case. Look, hear me. I can make a case right now that Curtis Jones should start. Like, we were singing the praises of Curtis Jones. So
I agree. We play 3 in midfield, and you're naming 4. I want competition for each one of them, not just for one of them.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. We do need midfielders. We definitely do need midfielders. But the midfielders that are going to cost us 100 million.
It's not our money. I don't care about the money. We haven't spent money in ages.
I know we're Liverpool fans at the end of the day. We need to be realistic with our club. We understand how our club works.
100%.
There's no way we're going to spend 100 million on a player who's going to be 6 crease.
There is, because we literally, Mohammed, again, you're wrong. We literally bought. I tell you why. Let me finish. I tell you why. Because we literally bought Zubimendi, and he said yes, and then he changed his mind. So we literally bought a 60 million pound player. We literally spent 110 million pound on Caicedo, but he didn't want to come. So
I think one thing we have to acknowledge about when we talk about just quickly before we talk about selling Liverpool. Well, that's quite easy, training ground, fans, financially stable, compete in almost every competition. Whether we win them at the end, more often than not, we haven't. We walk away with domestic cups, but we compete. We play in every single top competition enough to rotate a squad, right? So I think you can easily sell that.
No, but my point is, Cav, then please let me just make this some very
last one.
We're right give my left back option as well.
We're top of the Premier League. We're top of the Champions League. We're on form right now. We're doing very, very well. And we're talking about buying a left back for X amount of millions. We're talking about potentially buying a centre back for X amount of millions, a backup 6 for about 100 million, and then a striker for 100 million. Why do we need this crazy rebuild when we're literally
Mo. No one said
these crazy millions.
We've talked about a left back. We've talked about a striker. We've talked about a DM. You think João Pedro's going to come to us on the cheap? He's going to come for at least 80 million. The left back, Kirkes or whoever it is, I don't know who it is.
So what do you want to do? Forget what we want to do or what we're suggesting.
I know what I want.
According to you, we only need Pedro.
No. I know in the summer, not in January or anything. In the summer, a left back.
Your summer dealings.
A left back to move on either one of Robertson or Tsimikas.
Okay.
And one of those two move on, and then a left back comes in. I think we need a midfielder as well. I agree. But a midfielder shouldn't be £100 million midfielder. This is my personal view because I'm just maybe I've got
Why
my
not
FSG
though,
hat
man?
on.
Let him land.
Because let me just land. I've got my FSG hat on now. I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm just a realistic guy. I'm just trying to be realistic and view this as if we're buying a left back, a centre mid, and then potentially a striker, it needs to work within this FSG, like the model that we have.
Mo, please, I have to tell you here, right? No, I have to tell you here.
We've seen
That
so
isn't the
much.
FSG hat. That
It
is
is
not
the
the
FSG hat
the
because we've
FSG
seen
hat
it.
is not to spend.
Okay.
The FSG hat is not to not
How-
spend money.
No,
It's
no,
to
no, it's
make
not that.
money
No, it's
go
not that.
further.
It's not that. It's signing somebody like a Ryan Gravenberch for 30 million from a Bayern Munich. That's the type
No
of player that
problem.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, but no problem. Hold on.
That's my whole
Forget the
thing.
names. Okay, so it goes back to the argument that you. Okay. Cav, I see where he's going with this now. Yeah, he's saying that we are going to be given a budget. Yeah, let's just say circa 100 million. Yeah, he's saying let's be realistic and say if, and I hope this is what he's saying because anything else I disagree with. Then Mo, I can't back you on anything else.
Go on.
This is what I think he's ultimately ended on. Yeah, he's saying FSG are going to have a budget. Hughes, whatever, blah, 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 going to have a budget. If we're saying we need a centre back, a left back, a DM, and a striker, yeah, we have to be realistic in those evaluations on the type of players we need. Cavs coming back with now is.
My point is, right, there is a budget because you need a budget with everything, okay? But in circumstances where they identify a player and they believe it makes financial sense because of what they can contribute to the club over the period of time and their contracts and their expected pay rises and bonus payouts, they will fork out the initial outlay to get that player. Hence the reason why we did put £100 million plus bid in for Caicedo. That isn't in the budget, but it makes
in the squad. It's a very bad point.
It's not. But it's not.
It is
not
a
because this is the misconception about FSG.
The squad, and we was chasing Lavia as well. We didn't sign Gravenberch at that point. We didn't sign Gravenberch at that point.
I hear you, right? But if you can take a case, to the people that represent Liverpool on behalf of FSG, and it makes good footballing and business sense, it does not matter what the money is. The figure is the figure. If you can justify the figure, that's the decision. So when you say we're not going to spend £100 million on a midfielder because we never do and it don't make business sense, it makes business sense if you think you're going to keep that player for 8 years and you don't expect he's going to ask for contract negotiations every year because you've assessed and spoke to his family. It makes business sense to suddenly spend that money because of what
FSG look after their business, Mohammed, and if they think it's worthy of their business to make an investment, look, I'm criticizing them in a way. And then people might say I'm defending them.
We're going to tell FSG, we need £100 million. We're going to go and sign Carlos Baleba, and he's only going to play for us 20 Premier League. He's only going to start 20 Premier League games. They're not going to see that as like a cost-effective.
Are we not moving players on, brother? Are we not moving players on?
8 years.
Who are we moving on in the midfield? Endo.
We're moving on Endo. We're moving on Simicast or Robbo.
The left back, cool. But you're saying moving. I'm talking about.
We could move on. Pathetic as well, because let's be honest. I rate.
We're moving on Pathetic. I'm telling you, we're moving on Pathetic. I'm telling you,
bring it back.
We're moving on.
I agree, Cav. I rate him, but we're most likely going to.
Hold on. I just found your £70 million. I just raised your 70 million, Mohammed, in minutes. Pathetic, Morton, and Endo, circa 60 million. Yeah, that's your midfielder.
Okay. Yeah, let's not. I don't want to break any hearts, but McAllister pretty much said the other day he wants to play in Spain, so we've probably got him for another.
We have to prove, years. But anyway, listen, mad chat, and people have enjoyed this segment.
Quickly, I just want to just my left back option quickly, and I've watched him many times. My boy's an Ajax fan. Jarell Hato, for me, well within our remit. Ajax only won about 30 to 40 million. The only con is that he's 18. That's the only con. But similar to when we were linked with Scalvini and Calafiori, he's multifunctional. We can play left back and he can play left centre back. But at the moment, he would probably have to start that left back role, and then Van Dijk can kind of take him in his wing. Because for me, he does excel more as a centre back, but he can play both roles. I think he's attainable in January if we do want to sign him. And I always say a big indicator to know a player is good is from when Arsenal won him, from when United won him. I think in Milan we're looking at him. He's got all of the other big European clubs, but he is definitely attainable. And I've wanted him for months.
He's a bona fide target. Hato is very much of interest. He was on Edwards. He was on Edwards' database when he went off. As soon as he came back, He's back on our database. The original reason we didn't go for him is we were told at the time that he's Arsenal bound. He was Arsenal bound. But since then, they brought that Califury fella.
Califury, yeah.
And I think we are back in for Hato.
Grizz.
I 100% know we want
You know, it's an advantage for us as well. Where's our manager from? There's that connection already. That's a green
brother. Gravenberch, get in his ear, broski.
Gakpo, Van Dijk, all of the Dutch contingent need to get together.
There's links of this guy called Richie from the Italian guy.
Torino, yeah.
He's the type of player that I'm talking about. That is
but that's fine. No, but that's fine.
What I was saying.
I agree.
Is there any truth, do you reckon, behind that, Richie?
No, I don't know. So I don't know if there's any truth or not. I can't say no because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but I agree with you. We do need a profile of midfielder. Now, we just gave names because they're linked, but I don't think we should undervalue our pull, especially if we win.
Of course. And by the way, boys, if we sign Belieber, he plays next to Gravenberch, McAllister goes in the 10, and Soboslai sits out. Yeah, and then we have a creative number 10 who can actually contribute with goals and assists. And then if we go switch it around and we need the energy, Soboslai comes back in. That's how you win.
60, 70 games. Like, I think Rom said it. We play 60, 70 games a season.
That's how you win. Put Belieber next to Gravenberch and we ain't losing no matches.
Yo, man, this show has been peak. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't enjoyed the show this much in ages. It's been fantastic chat, and we had like 4 talking points. We just done 2 talking points. We didn't even reach the other 2, and we're not gonna have time because I know these men are busy, so I'm not gonna keep them. But Southampton tomorrow. Do you care, Roms?
I don't want to lose, but I don't care.
Okay,
you don't
care.
At the start of each season, I like to go for every trophy, but
no. The quad team can't run. The quad team. There's a reason. 120
this squad,
never been
you're
done.
right.
Put it like this, including internationals, it's like 80 plus games for the players in one season. It's too much. Yeah. I'd love the idea of it.
Let me rewind selector, right? Are you playing any seniors tomorrow, guys? One by one.
McAllister to get some game time in his legs. Endo, because Endo's only played 160 minutes so far this season, by the way. He doesn't get any game time, so I put him in. And do you know what, Grizz? Do you know the main reason I don't want to win this game, even though obviously I do want to win this game? Because if we win this game, it means right in the middle of this like heated Premier League race that we're in, where everything's all like obviously running at 100 miles an hour, we've got a 2-legged tie against Man United, Tottenham, or Arsenal.
Or Newcastle.
Nah, Newcastle ain't winning. It's going to be Arsenal, Tottenham, or Man United, guys. And are you lot telling me you want a 2-legged tie semi-final against one of them in the middle of January when we've already got a lot of bullshit going on?
It could be Newcastle because they've got Brentford at St. James Park. It'll be either United or Tottenham.
Rob, you know how our luck works. It won't be Newcastle. It'll be Arsenal or the winner of the Man U Tottenham game. 100%, bro. 100%. That's it.
You know what? I don't want a 2-legged affair in the quest for our title because I want the title at all costs.
Of course.
And even though the League Cup gave me the best memory in I don't know, man. I think I cheered for the League Cup, like the Champions League.
It was brutal.
Oh, me, you were there, Roms. Yeah. Beating a full strength Chelsea with the kids was sensational, and the way we've done it.
Yeah, let's do it again then.
Let's do it again. Actually, Trev,
our kids are good, you know.
You know this. Yeah, but we're good. We can't play the kids against Arsenal or Man United. It's too big of a rivalry.
Do it.
Too big of a rivalry. You can't. Slot ain't gonna want to lose to them.
Dan's will beat him.
Slot is not gonna want to lose to them. He's gonna be in that position and he's gonna go ham. You think he's going to let Amrim or Arteta get one over him? No way. He's going to be like, no, I'm winning this shit. And he's going to play more.
I don't know. Slot's that emotional. I swear.
Do you know what? I don't know how much of the youth team. I only really watched the UEFA Youth League, right? Sometimes I send emails in the background. But 3 players I do want to start is Amara Nallo has a lot of potential. Rio on the left. And I do want to train. Trey's already got experience in the first team, but they're 3 youngsters that are nailed on. I want to start this game, 100%.
Rio won't start. I think Nallo starts tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think Norris starts at left back.
You don't think Rio will start?
This is not one of my predictions, by the way. Before people say, I think Nioni starts tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So I think we see two
I'd put Rio out there, Grizz. We
Same.
might as
I'd
well.
start it.
I'll play him. You know why I play him?
love
I'll play him in the cup against Accrington, Stanley.
Who are
Yeah,
they?
yeah, that too. We should put the under 18s out with all due respect to Accrington Stanley. If our under 18s can't beat them, they're
I
not ready
know,
for
see
the
what I'm
first
saying?
team.
But I'm a bit old school. I do want to win them trophies. But listen, we got to move on. So look, we don't really care, but we do care.
Southampton
tomorrow.
are managed
Like,
to
you
this
never
as well.
not care.
as well. Chiesa starts. Chiesa starts right tomorrow. Chiesa.
He has to.
Chiesa.
Yes, too.
Yeah, I
Surely.
think
And
Chiesa.
Elliot as well.
Elliot's got to get a start as
Do you know
well.
what?
I tell you who I think's going to
The
start.
team's quite strong.
I tell you who I
Really?
think's going to
Apart
start
from
out.
the
Same, Mo.
Out the
Yeah,
first team
win it.
squad.
Strong.
Out the first team squad, I think the midfield's going to be Morton, Maka,
Endo.
and Endo.
Well, actually, no.
No, I'd go Endo, Maka, and Elliot. I think the midfield will be.
No, Elliot's going to play wide right.
No, but that would be Chiesa.
That'll be
then I
Chiesa,
think
though.
Nunez will play. And
I
then
think Chiesa, I think it's going to be Chiesa,
sorry.
Elliot, and Nunez.
Yeah, I think Elliot starts on the right as
I
well.
know Gakpo's playing tomorrow, guys. He's the league
No,
king.
no,
Gakpo's playing.
He's Mr. Carabao, isn't he?
He's
No,
Mr.
rest-
Carabao. Gakpo's playing, bro.
No, allow
Trust
it.
me.
Oh, Dan's as well. Yeah, Dan's is a shout to start
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'd play Dan's up top.
I'd play
tomorrow.
Dan's over Nunez.
The defense is the question
Yeah.
mark. Like, who plays? Do we play Trent?
Norris is going to play left back. I have a
Lawrence left
feeling.
back. Yeah, Lawrence left back.
And I'd personally go Kwanzaa and Nalo. But
Yeah.
then that leaves a right back dilemma.
And then who's right back? Gomez, Trent.
Well, Cal said he'd play Trent
Not
at
Trent.
right back. I was like, "What, you punishing him for the for the Fulham game?"
I don't even know who goes right back. I'm going to be honest with you.
Teach that boy how to run. Go be captain and show us what you got in it, bro.
I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do. But listen, we don't really care. We're going to enjoy it. Like, we play pressure
Do
free.
you know what, Grizz? Tomorrow night's one of them games where if we lose, you'll care maybe for 10, 15 minutes. Then Thursday morning comes and you get on with the rest of your
Yeah.
week. It's one of them games.
A wild shout. Do you reckon Endo at right back could work?
Yeah,
He has played there before.
I would do that.
And then we could play that midfield that you mentioned, Grizz.
Then like, we could play that midfield. That's what I would do. But we don't know. I haven't got any leaks.
Endo at centre back. Maybe you do
Centre
that.
back, yeah, but he's played right back
Who?
before.
Who?
Endo at centre back. Maybe.
Yeah,
he'll
I know,
do
but I
that.
just think, you know what I mean? Just Kwanzaa and Nalo will be.
You know, is Robertson got a free match ban or is it just a one match ban?
One match.
Just
Oh,
one.
tomorrow's the only. So you'll be back for Tottenham.
Back for Tottenham.
Yeah.
No,
And I couldn't work out his slot
I
back for
wouldn't-
Tottenham or
Yeah.
I
back
think
for-
he is
so,
back
yeah.
to Tottenham
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought someone suggested
doesn't he?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
so-
minor game. Minor. What?
who takes the team.
I thought it was for
Hutton.
Spurs. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah,
I
so
thought
he's
it
not-
was
he-
for Southampton.
I think Heitinger and them boy will be fine without.
Every man will be back for Sunday, man. Inshallah,
Mm.
God willing. That's our focus should be on
That,
that.
that Tottenham
But
game's a
listen,
big game, you know.
Very quickly, last point, and probably the point. Strong rumors circulating around social media, LFC social media. Mohamed Salah has signed a 2-year deal. I believe he has too. If that's the case,
Mm.
how do you feel right now? Is this the domino? Is it like fucking about time? And is this the domino effect? And we hope and we pray that the other two get signed as well now, because some people are saying Mohamed Salah was the complex one. Some people are saying Trent was the complex one. Everyone's got their opinion on which one was the complex one, because every player has got a right to say, yo, me. Like Salah's the king. Virgil saying I'm the captain. Trent saying I'm the local and the future captain. So where you at? If Mohamed Salah has agreed and signed, where you at, Drip? Good vibes. It has to be, right?
Oh, 100%. It's about time. You hit the nail on the head. It's about damn time. We're trying to win the league here, and you got all this negativity around contracts floating around. It's doing my nuts. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of having to speculate. Just get it. I stand by what I said at the beginning. I think all three stay. I do. I don't think any of them leave. I know everybody wants to pray on our downfall. I think they'll all stay. And if Trent is the one who does end up going, because he's the one most likely to leave, then more for him in it, because legacy done. Like, that's how it goes. Go ask Steve McManaman what it feels like when you leave Liverpool for free.
Facts.
So if he wants to ruin his Liverpool legacy and his chance to come visit his mum and people are glad he's home, then let him go and do what he's got to do in it. But I think they'll all stay. I think we'll be fine. I just think FSG are trying there. You know what? I wouldn't put it past FSG waiting all the way till now, just before other teams can talk to them, so they save 6 months worth of wages if they'd have got this done in the summer. You don't think I don't know what my owners are like? They've worked out how much money it would have spent to give them improved contracts 6 months ago, and they've drawn it out as long as possible to save as much money as they can. We got the cheapest owners you've ever seen in your life.
Rom's good news.
Yeah, I think we get 3 contracts over the line, but the third one isn't the one you expect. I think Salah stays, I think Van Dijk stays, and I think we announced Konate. Grizz, you know my beliefs with Trent. I think Trent's gone. I just think he wants an listen. Like Grizz, like Drifty said, his legacy will be done. All this talk that he wants to captain his boyhood club, but I just look at it from his standpoint. Won everything there is to win with the club. I feel like there's there's nothing else he can achieve, which he can build on his legacy, but I feel like he's achieved everything he can. Madrid are the pinnacle, his best friends over there. He was spending time with some of them in the summer. I just think his head's over there. I think we get 3 contract extensions with Van Dijk, Salah and Konate. I think they release them. We'll release it to us around Christmas time, similar to what we did with Van Dijk when we signed him. And that's what I think will happen. But I do think Trent is the one that leaves. I've thought this for quite some time. I pray he stays, but I have thought this for quite some time.
Cav, huge news. Mohamed Salah, huge news, but we wanted it. We expected it. We didn't want it any other way. We didn't want him to leave. Hopefully, as I said, the first of the domino effect. It's boring. Like Drift's right, man. It's boring talking about it on every stream, every show, and especially at this time of season where we should be focusing. This could be a momentum. What's the word? Pusher. Like
Boost.
This could be the momentum. This will rejuvenate the crowd, the fan base, all the negativity that's surrounding it. This will, like, for example, we drop points and everyone's talking about Trent, and then they're talking about the contract. This is a time in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks to just full title charge. You know that meme with Klopp running with all the players and everyone around him. We need a new one made with Slot, right? Going into January.
Yeah, no, it's getting that one done, and the bigger one for me is Virgil. It's security, isn't it? We know Virgil's irreplaceable. Of course, he's going to move on at some point, but don't let it be now. Can we please just give Kwanzaa a bit of time to develop this season? Let's see how he goes. Had a little bit of a setback this year, but hopefully he can find some minutes and some form and pick up, sign somebody in the summer. That would be a great succession plan to Virgil, right? Konate put a lot of questions to bed. A lot of people worried about the injury situation. I know he's out in the minute, but performances have really shown that he can be a leader at this club as well. So he's shown a lot this season. Salah is part 1 of that situation for me. We need to find his successor. Hopefully Chiesa gets fit and can play enough minutes this season that we can go into the summer thinking, is it realistically going to be him? Because if the answer is no, okay, that's what we look at in the summer as well. Then if he signs a 2-year contract, gives us a bit of time to work up that successor. The Trent one for me is neither here nor there. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think that we've already got it. I think Conor Bradley's a brilliant player. I think yes, you lose ability, passing ability, chance creation through Trent. I get that. But as a team, I still think we compete without Trent and Conor Bradley in there. And that's all we care about at the end of the day. We care about whether Liverpool have a team, a squad that's capable of competing for the major honours. Without Trent, we still have that. Without Virgil, I don't think we do. So for me, I'm pleased about the Salah one. Hopefully we start to look for a successor. Hopefully it's Chiesa and we don't have to spend any more money. Virgil is the next one for me. Please get that done. Trent, yeah, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But it comes at a good time, like you say, Grizz, leading up to Christmas. And we can go into the January transfer window already thinking about, Salah's not got to talk to any other clubs. Hopefully we get to the same situation with Virgil where we're like, okay, these are our guys now. Conversation done. They're here. Let's move forward. We're not... I can't, God, how much would it pain us to get to January, February, and we're still in for these trophies? And Salah and Virgil, like, it's in the papers, they're talking to Madrid and they're talking to Barcelona and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. It serves as too much of a distraction. Let's just get these players tied down and move on. Trent, if you're going to go to Madrid, just get it done with, get it said. Let's enjoy your final moments at Liverpool and let's not lose focus that we are bang on for a title in this season.
I don't even think we enjoy it. If he wants to go, you just get rid of him in January. I don't want anybody here. Do you remember when Goetze was sitting in the stand in the Dortmund team knowing he was going to Bayern Munich after that final finish? I don't want no dickheads in our team like that. I'm sorry.
I hear it. I hear it. It's the same sentiment you said with Zubimendi. If you don't want to join us,
yeah.
we're done. Move
If
on.
you don't want to,
You know.
if Trent wants to go Madrid, I don't want to. I don't even want him to get a Premier League winners medal if we win it. I don't. And then what? And then piss off.
Oh, yeah,
No,
I'm with
get
you.
him gone in January. If he wants to go, we can go now. I'm sorry, I don't want him.
Mohammed,
I mean, what else is there to say? I agree with the lads. Like, obviously, great news. Salah's, if he signs, hopefully signs the contract. Great news. Virgil, the same. I do agree with the rest of the lads. I think Trent will be gone. But slightly disagree with you there, Drifty. If he's still a Liverpool player, just support him until the summer, until he's gone. And if he's gone, let it be. The grass ain't greener. He'll realise that when he's left.
It is hard when someone don't choose you, though. Do you know what I mean?
Not even just that, he's going to the team who caused us the most pain. Do you not understand? Real Madrid have been the thorn in our side the entire Klopp reign, and he's felt that pain, and now he wants to go there. That's like your ex dating your enemy.
I know. The most painful part of it is that he's going on a free. Like,
for me, that's the most.
Yeah,
do you know what,
that's
Drift? We're looking at it from an emotional point of view. If you step back and look at it from a subjective point of view, objective point of view, man. He
should be looking at the way we are.
Drift, I agree with you. But I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes, right? He's a scout. He should want to stay. He should want to spend the rest of his career here. But he might also be looking at it like, oh my God. Look, he spoke about Ballon d'Ors as well, which I never think he'll win. I think he's exceptional footballer, but right back, I don't think a right back's ever won it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's probably looking at it, if I go to Madrid, my name's in even more headlights. But I agree with you, the grass ain't green on the other side. Like you said, McManaman, you saw Owen as well. Owen wanted to come back many years after, but had other strikers in your Suarez, Torres, whatnot, had replaced him. So I agree with you, Drift, but he might not look at it how we're looking at it, but you're spot on it. I'll be fuming if he does leave, man. I'll be upset.
And would you want to go to a team that wouldn't buy you? They're only taking you because you're free. Like, how much do they even really value you? Because they wouldn't buy him. They just want him because he's free.
Do you know what, Drift, as well, that's annoying me? His brother has a big part to play in this, because you know they're going to offer him, I think, a bit less than what we're offering him, but it's the signing on fee. I think the brother gets that 20 million and Trent will get 20. That's what's enticing him even more. That's another thing.
He's doing the Mbappe thing, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. Literally the Mbappe thing. Yeah.
Well, has everyone just resigned them and then he's gone, or is anyone thinking maybe he will?
No. I actually think he'll stay. You know, I do actually think.
I have resigned. I'm not gonna lie. I have resigned. Put it like this: if he stays now, it's a pleasant surprise. Like, I'm doing cartwheels. I'm celebrating if he stays, because
but Rom. But it's like Rooney United, fantastic player, but it's going to be the same in 2-3 years' time.
Roms,
I don't like
my hand. Rom, shake my hand. All three will be staying at Liverpool Football Club, and we will come back to this stream. I guarantee you.
I pray you're right.
All three, and you see that Denzel Washington where he says, where he's saying, okay.
Yeah.
we need Trent in that, in that meme, in that video. You know, this AI bullshit. Someone do a video.
Yeah.
Send it to me, please, because I need to post it on my social.
You know what?
Instagram me, DM me, message me, email me. I want one of you geniuses to send Trent's picture in that meme. Send it to me ASAP, because I need to post it in the next month or so.
Do you know what? Cav said something true, right? If we was to get bad news in that February or whatnot, I actually think that could be a detriment in the title race. But if all three of them sign, I'll start saying crazy things that we're definitely winning, because I just think that would be a catalyst. Galvanize the whole club.
Momentum.
And it will just go to a whole
guys.
level.
We'll be on fire.
Yeah.
Anfield will be a furnace. Anfield would be a furnace. Imagine that. Every team coming to Anfield. Are you mad?
It's great. I'm going to liken it to another team. We know they're cheats, but when City got announced of the charges, that just spurred them on. They then went on like a 10, 12. It's like they channeled the anger. With us, it'll be the opposite. We'll be celebrating 3 of our modern legends in our team.
But the thing is, right, this is where they're smart. I know, like, suddenly FSG will be in the good books, and trust me, like,
no January transfers.
People dumb foolish people, think I'm a FSG supporter, and I'm like, what do they call it? Top red, I'm very critical, and I'd like to think I'm very level in my criticism of them, and I know it's going to be looking like they're gangsters in marketing, they're gangsters in image. They know when to give the club and themselves a boost, and this will be the ultimate boost. But I still believe we have to invest, and this is the downside, guys. I'm warning Liverpool fans out there. Yeah. When, God willing, all three are signed, it's going to affect our budget. I'm telling
We're
you
not
that.
going to sign anyone, though.
We have to work it. That's where Mohammed is coming back with the reality side of things. So, but
We'll lap it up. Come on, Mo. We can't even lie like we won't.
I
We
know,
will.
man. But this is what they do. They're masters of mind manipulation.
3 players to get us to a title.
Because look at Ramsey's reaction.
If all three of them,
we all free signed, I don't give a shit. So our mind's gonna be off track. Like, yeah, bro, we got a free signing, but we still need a left back. Yeah, but we still need a DM.
You're right.
This is what they do. You know what I mean? But listen,
we have to hope Endo and them man their force moves away in January, so we have to replace.
We
them.
have
That's
to.
what we
Imagine
hope.
Trent signs a pre-contract with Real Madrid in January.
No.
I'm just saying.
Ban him.
No, wait. Imagine how toxic it will be every time.
I don't want him playing again. If he does that,
Yeah.
give him a 21.
He can go and train with the kids.
Yo, you know, training day meme. Then I want that Game of Thrones meme, people, and I want Trent. Yeah, you know the shame. I want that one.
I think if it does sign a pre-contract with Real Madrid, it'll be like similar to like Mane after the Champions League final, but that will still hurt as well.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Whatever way he plays,
I must read out a few super chats, man. I did promise people. Still over 550 of you guys in here. Big up the chat, big up the support every single time. I'm trying to do more content on a regular basis, and I will, God willing, especially with the free contracts around the corner. Yo, what's good is in the building. So João Pedro doesn't play as a false 9. He plays off or behind Welbeck, so he don't make sense into considering Slot. Don't play with a false 9. Think we'd look at Boniface before Pedro, to be honest. Slot likes a number 9. Anyone got to say anything on that?
Pedro would just be threading balls through for Gakpo, Salah, Diaz. Trust me, don't like.
Pedro's nice. Fine. Pedro's nice. Craven Moore. Yeah, he did catch me out there, innit? He tried to catch me out there. Get out of here. Man tried to catch me out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he tried to catch me out there. He tried to catch me out there. But thank you for this $2.
Big up, dude.
Big up. Hassan says Nunez is the worst signing in our history. Oh God. Red Mist says,
how long you been a fan? How long you been a Liverpool fan,
crazy.
Bro? Yeah, that's mad. That's wild.
My word.
Peace and tranquility upon you guys. Red Mist says, my point, it's not negativity, fans. Look at the defects in the team to improve and take us to the next level. That's why they call out for X, Y, Z players. You never walk alone.
Actually, Grizz, he's right. He's talking about the Nunez we got when we sold Owen.
Oh,
he's right.
Okay.
He's right. Yeah, he's right.
Red Indian says we should fly a plane over Anfield for Robinson. No, it's not that deep. No. In Jan, we'll get 5 good years from him and get rid of Jota. Nunez not available for 2 years. That's criminal need. Cover for Gravy Boy. I think we are good. Yeah, no, I ain't flying a plane over for Robinson. Come on. For Mbappe or for Baliba or for someone like that. Yeah, man. But
I think he'd be an excellent signing though.
Yeah. The few times I've seen him, that Man City game when he
I don't like 27, 28. I don't think it's a bad age, especially in the modern day and age. I think we can get definitely 3-4 solid years out of it.
2-3 maximum years out of it.
You know what?
Last summer was when I was like really, I wanted Robinson, but now 27, 10 and 28. Yeah. It's a bit too.
Yeah, but that's 28 to 27, 28 is peak age, man. Don't we want to buy peak players again? What's this notion of we can't have good things, Mohammed? Why do you want good things? Why do you want good things?
More longevity, not looking at this situation.
Good things, bro.
How do you know this?
I want good things, man.
Hey, Mo's thinking it's Christmas. We've spent up. There's stop.
Because he's realistic. Robinson is probably realistic. I'm just saying the age 27. I feel like we should like target someone a little bit younger. 23, 24.
LFC Batter says City dominated because they had 5-6 elite midfielders. And Red Indian says, all I see is names. No one's talking about leaders. Once the trio leave, it needs to sign more leaders. Yeah, they will slowly, eventually, but they're not leaving, man. We just discussed that they're not leaving, man. Trent, you wouldn't call a leader per se, would you, right now? Anyway, right?
And actually, I think that we do have other leaders in our squad. I think 100%. I was talking about it the other day. I think Cody is stepping 100%. Up to be a really mature player. And actually, I think
McAllister is the leader. You know, I like McAllister as a leader.
Exactly. So I think there's others there.
People, this was supposed to be a 1-hour stream. It's turned into a mega 2-hour stream. But I'm not gonna lie, the time has flown. Big up, Drifty. Thank you very much. Roms, big up every time. And of
Big up,
course,
man.
regulars, Cav and Mohammed. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you have, just show us appreciation by giving us a like, subscribe to the Mandem. They're all doing great stuff. Go and check them out. Go and follow their tweets, their opinions, what their thoughts are on Liverpool Football Club and anything else that they may take interest in. Tomorrow will be a post-match reaction. I don't know if I'm going to do that solo as whatever mood I'm in. You know how it works. Some of us care about tomorrow, some of us don't. But trust me, when we lose, we do care. It does hurt. So hopefully we do go through.
In the moment.
Yeah, exactly. But apart from that, peace, love, and tranquility to all. Peace. Take care.
Peace.
Oops, forgot to end stream, but people